Stop right here, my child, and do not let this moment slip past you. You did not find this message by accident, and you were not drawn here by chance. I brought you here because there is something over your life that you have been too wounded, too distracted, or too uncertain to fully see, and today, I am pulling the veil back. Stay with me all the way to the end, because what I am about to reveal will not only explain what you have been through, it will change how you see every delay, every loss, and every closed door you thought meant I had forgotten you. Listen closely, keep your heart open, and do not rush this. If you walk away too soon, you may miss the very confirmation your soul has been begging me for. What I am about to show you will make it impossible to call your story random ever again. My child, I need you to understand something before anything else settles into your heart. You are not here by chance. You did not simply come across this message because of timing, curiosity, or a random moment in your day. I brought you here. I saw exactly where your mind was. I knew what your heart had been carrying, and I chose this moment because you were ready to hear what I have been trying to tell you for longer than you realize. You may have thought you were just scrolling, just passing through, just looking for something to quiet the noise inside you for a few moments, but I was already ahead of you. I was guiding your attention before you even noticed it. I was making room for this moment long before you arrived in it. There are times in your life when things happen in ways that seem ordinary on the surface, but underneath them, I am arranging something holy. This is one of those times. I am not speaking to a crowd right now. I am speaking to you. I am speaking to the part of you that has been tired, the part of you that has been wondering if I still see you, the part of you that has been trying to stay strong while quietly asking if any of this still means something. It does. You do. And that is why I would not let this moment pass you by. You have had so many moments lately where you felt like life was just happening around you. You have watched days blur together, carrying thoughts you did not know how to explain, and felt things in your spirit that you could not fully name. Sometimes you brushed it off and told yourself you were overthinking. Sometimes you pushed it down because you did not have the energy to face it. But I was there in every bit of it. I was there in the restlessness that would not leave you alone. I was there in the pause you felt when something inside you whispered that there had to be more. I was there in the heaviness that made you stop and wonder why your soul felt so crowded even when the room around you was quiet. None of that was meaningless. I was already drawing you closer. I was already creating the path that would bring you here, because I needed you to hear this clearly. Your life is not random, and neither is this moment. I know the world has taught you to dismiss things too quickly. It has taught you to call sacred things coincidence and to call divine interruptions distractions. But I want you to see this differently now. What you are feeling in your heart as you read this is not imagination. It is not just emotion. It is the recognition of my presence. It is the quiet certainty that I am nearer than you thought, and that I have been paying attention to every detail you assume no one noticed. So before you try to figure out everything that comes next, I want you to simply let this truth rest inside you. You were brought here on purpose. I chose this exact opening in your day to reach you because I know what is ahead of you, and I know what needs to be awakened inside you before you step into it. You have not been wandering through meaningless moments. You have been moving through a story I have been holding together with more care than you can see. Even the parts that felt messy to you were never outside my sight. Even the delays, the detours, the strange pauses, and the moments that made no sense at all were not outside my hand. This is where I begin changing the way you see your life. Not with fear, not with pressure, but with truth. I want your heart to finally understand that I have been nearer than your doubts, closer than your pain, and more involved than your questions allowed you to believe. And now that you are here, I do not want you to rush past this. I want you to stay with me, because what I am about to show you next will begin to make sense of things you have carried for a very long time. My child, now that you have let your heart settle into the truth that this moment was not random, I need you to see something even deeper. This is not the first time I have been reaching for you. This is simply the first time you are beginning to recognize how many places my hand has already been in your story. You have looked back at certain moments and called them strange timing. You have called them setbacks, interruptions, missed chances, or unexpected turns. But I want you to look again, and this time I want you to look with me. Slow down and remember those moments when something fell apart just before you gave your whole heart to it. Think about the conversations that ended, the plans that stalled, the doors that would not open no matter how hard you pushed. You thought I was being silent then, but I was not silent. I was steering you. I was moving pieces you could not see. I was pulling you away from what would have drained you and drawing you toward what would eventually heal you. Let that truth sink in. Stop calling every detour a defeat. Some of the roads you hated were the very roads that kept you alive. You have asked me before why your life has felt so unusual, why your path has seemed slower than other people's, why you keep arriving at places that look nothing like what you expected. I heard every one of those questions, and I never turned away from them. But I need you to understand this now. I have not been careless with your journey. I have been exact. I have been patient with you in ways you did not notice, and I have been protecting things in you that were too precious to expose too soon. There were times you wanted immediate answers, and I gave you restraint instead. There were moments you wanted certainty, and I gave you waiting. There were seasons you wanted relief, and I gave you quiet growth beneath the surface. That was not punishment. That was care. It was a father refusing to hand you what would harm you before your roots were strong enough to hold it. So breathe and release the bitterness you attach to the process. Do not accuse your past of being empty. It was full of my fingerprints. I was in the pause that frustrated you. I was in the delay that humbled you. I was in the redirection that confused you. I was teaching you how to trust my hand before you could fully understand my plan. And now I want you to do something simple but powerful. Stop fighting the thought that I have been closer than you realized. Accept it. Receive it. Let yourself admit that maybe I was there in more places than you gave me credit for. Let your heart soften enough to see that what looked scattered to you had been held together by me all along. You did not survive by instinct alone. You did not keep moving forward by your own strength. I carried more of you than you know. I interrupted more disasters than you ever saw. I shut doors that would have stolen your peace, and I delayed things that would have crushed your spirit if they had arrived too early. This is why I am asking you now to stop measuring your life only by what happened on the surface. Look deeper. Let me retrain the way you see your own story. Invite me into your memory. Let me show you where I was standing when you thought you were alone. And as you begin to recognize my guidance in what has already been, you will be ready to trust me for what is coming next, because I am not starting to lead you now. I have been leading you all along. My child, I know how many times you have looked at your life and wondered why certain things took so long. I know how often you watched other people move ahead while you felt stuck in a place that seemed to stretch on forever. You saw doors open for them while yours stayed closed. You watched opportunities pass by, relationships shift, plans fall apart, and prayers remain unanswered longer than you thought they should. That kind of waiting can get inside your heart if you are not careful. It can make you question your worth. It can make you quietly wonder whether I forgot you or whether you somehow missed the moment meant for you. But I need you to hear me clearly now, and I want you to stop arguing with this truth as I say it. Your delay was not abandonment. It was preparation. I did not keep you back because I wanted to wound you. I kept you in process because I loved you too much to release you into something your soul was not yet ready to carry. Come closer and understand this with me. Some blessings are heavy. Some doors look beautiful from the outside, but require strength, wisdom, healing, and inner stability to walk through without losing yourself. I was building that in you. When you were asking for movement, I was working on your foundation. When you were asking me to speed things up, I was watching what still needed to heal inside you. You wanted the breakthrough, but I was protecting you from entering it with old wounds, old fears, and old patterns still running your life. If I had given you certain things earlier, you might have celebrated at first, but you would not have had the peace to sustain them. You would have carried insecurity into places that required confidence. You would have carried desperation into relationships that needed wholeness. You would have carried exhaustion into opportunities that needed clarity. So I let you wait, not because I was withholding love, but because I was expressing it in a deeper way than you could see at the time. That waiting season was not empty. It was forming you. It was exposing what needed to leave you. It was strengthening what needed to remain. It was teaching you to hear me in quieter ways. And yes, it hurt. I know it did. I saw every frustrated prayer, every tired sigh, every moment when you wanted to stop believing because the silence felt too long. But I was not absent in that silence. I was building something in you that noise never could. So now I want you to do what you have resisted doing for a long time. Release the accusation you have held against your own timeline. Stop calling yourself late. Stop telling yourself you missed it. Stop grieving seasons that were actually shaping you for the one ahead. Open your hands and let me reframe your waiting. Let me show you that what felt like being overlooked was often me teaching you how to carry what is holy without breaking under its weight. Your tears were not wasted there. Your disappointments were not meaningless there. Even the lonely parts were doing work in you. They were deepening your roots. They were making you less dependent on applause, less vulnerable to false comfort, and more aware of my voice. It matters more than you know. So breathe deeply and let the shame leave your timeline. You are not behind. You are being readied. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. Trust me enough to let the truth settle in your spirit, because when the next door opens, and it will, I do not want you entering it with the mindset of someone who was delayed. I want you stepping through it as someone who has been prepared. My child, I want you to sit with this for a moment, because you have been too quick to call yourself tired without recognizing what your survival actually means. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still able to feel, to hope, to listen, to respond. That may seem ordinary to you now because you have lived inside your own struggle for so long, but from where I stand, it is nothing short of remarkable. There were nights that should have swallowed your peace. There were losses that should have hardened your heart. There were disappointments that could have turned you bitter, cold, and unreachable. Yet here you are, not untouched, but still open enough for me to reach you. Do not rush past that. Do not minimize what it cost you to keep going. I saw the strain in your soul. I saw the private moments when you were hanging on by what felt like a thread. I saw the way you carried pain and still tried to show up for life. And I need you to understand what your enemy hoped you would never realize. The fact that you survived is proof that there is something on your life worth fighting for. You were not merely preserved out of mercy. You were preserved for purpose. You have called yourself exhausted, and I understand why. You have looked at your scars and sometimes felt embarrassed by them. You have looked at your history and wondered why it had to be so heavy, so tangled, so hard. But I want you to stop seeing those things only through the lens of what they cost you. Let me show you what they revealed. Every time life tried to crush your spirit and you somehow rose again, even if it was slowly, something holy was being uncovered in you. Not performance, not perfection, endurance. Not the kind that looks impressive to people, but the kind that survives in secret. The kind that keeps whispering my name when there are no answers yet. The kind that keeps moving when the heart feels bruised and the future feels blurry. That kind of endurance is not random. It is not common. It is the mark of someone who is being kept for something greater than what they can see right now. So stop insulting your own survival by treating it like luck. It was not luck. I was with you in every dark room, every heavy morning, every hour when your thoughts were loud and your strength was low. I carried what you could not carry, and I blocked what you did not even know was coming. Receive that. Let the truth land inside you and change the way you speak about your own story. Now I want you to do something brave. Stop calling yourself weak because you felt pain. Stop calling yourself broken because you were wounded. Stop measuring your life by what nearly took you out. Instead, look at what could not finish you. Look at what failed to bury you. Look at the storms that passed through your life and left you scarred but still standing. That is not an accident. That is evidence. I want you to let your heart recognize that your survival has meaning. It is not just a leftover chapter from a hard season. It is a sign that I have kept breath in you because your life still carries an assignment. There is something ahead that requires the version of you that has been forged in these fires. So lift your head. Honor the grace that held you. Thank me for what I protected in you. And as you move forward, stop asking only why it hurt. Begin asking what it prepared. That question will open your eyes to purpose in places where you once saw only pain. You have seen now that your survival was never random, and neither is this moment before you. I am stirring your heart not only to receive, but to release, to become a vessel through which my word reaches others who are barely holding on as you once were. When you give, you are not losing. You are sowing seeds into soil that will rise as hope, as healing, as light in someone else's darkness. Have I not said, give, and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over? This is that moment of overflow I am inviting you into. If your heart is burning as you hear this, that is me calling you to partner with what I am doing here. Support this mission through Super Thanks, join as a member, or give through PayPal. The link is waiting for you in the description. I will breathe upon what you release and multiply it beyond what you can see. Act now, and let your obedience become someone else's breakthrough. My child, I need to touch the part of your heart that still wonders whether I truly understand what you have carried. You have learned how to explain certain things to people in simple ways. You have said you were tired. You have said you were stressed. You have said you were going through a hard season. But you and I both know that those words barely scratched the surface. There were things you felt that language could not hold. There were moments when your chest felt heavy and you could not explain why. There were days when you wanted comfort but did not know how to ask for it. There were nights when you wanted to pray, but all you had was silence, tears, and a mind that would not slow down. I was there for all of it. I was not standing far away, waiting for you to say the right words. I was near you in the middle of the mess, reading the grief you could not organize, hearing the ache behind your breathing, understanding the pressure you kept hiding behind your smile. So come closer and stop assuming I only know the polished version of your pain. I know the whole thing. I know the private weight. I know the hidden hurt. I know what it felt like when you smiled in front of others and then collapsed when no one was looking. I also know how easy it has been for you to question your worth because of what you have gone through. Pain has a way of whispering lies when it lingers too long. It tries to convince you that if something hurt this deeply, maybe you were overlooked. Maybe you were too much. Maybe you were not protected. Maybe you were not chosen the way you hoped. But I need you to reject that voice now. Do not agree with what your wounds tried to teach you about your identity. Your pain was real, but it was never meant to become your definition. I never looked at you and saw someone too damaged to use. I never saw someone too fragile to love. I never once turned my face from the places in you that felt messy, ashamed, confused, or emotionally worn down. In fact, those were often the very places where I stayed closest. I know where you have been carrying sorrow in your body. I know where disappointment settled into your thinking. I know which memories still sting when they rise without warning. Bring those places to me now. Do not hide them. Do not tidy them up first. Let me into the rooms you have kept closed because you thought healing required you to be stronger than you feel. It does not. Healing begins when you stop pretending and let me touch what hurts. So listen to me carefully and let this settle deeper than anything fear has told you. You are fully seen, and you are still deeply loved. Not in spite of your pain as though I am tolerating you, but in the middle of it, with tenderness that does not flinch. I want you to breathe and stop carrying the burden of being misunderstood. You do not have to convince me. You do not have to explain every detail before I come near. Just open the door. Invite me in. Let your guard down with me. Let your tears be honest if they come. Let your heart stop performing strength for one moment and simply be held. I am not asking you to relive every wound right now. I am asking you to trust me enough to admit that I have seen it all and I have not changed my mind about you. You are not less precious because you have been hurt. You are not less chosen because you have been tired. You are not less mine because life has left marks on you. Stay here with me in the truth, because the more you believe that I truly see you, the easier it will become for you to receive what I am about to restore. My child, I need you to confront something that has quietly shaped the way you see yourself. There have been voices around you, and there have been voices inside you, and not all of them have spoken the truth. Some came through disappointment. Some came through rejection. Some came through failure, betrayal, comparison, and long seasons where nothing seemed to move. Over time, those experiences began to speak as if they had authority. They told you that maybe you were too late, too flawed, too inconsistent, too wounded, too ordinary, or too far gone. You may not have said those words out loud every day, but you felt their weight. You carried them into your choices. You carried them into your prayers. You carried them into rooms where you should have walked in with peace, but instead you entered with hesitation because part of you had already accepted a false story. So listen to me now and do not brush this aside. Stop agreeing with voices that never had the right to define you. Stop treating your wounds like they are witnesses against your future. They are not. They are evidence that you have been in battle, but they do not get to write your identity. I do. I want you to notice how subtle these lies have been. They did not always arrive in dramatic ways. Sometimes they came disguised as realism. They sounded practical. They sounded mature. They sounded like self-protection. They told you not to expect too much. They told you not to trust too deeply. They told you not to dream too boldly because disappointment hurts, and you already know what that feels like. But those thoughts did not keep you safe. They kept you small. They taught you how to survive without expecting joy. They trained your heart to brace for loss before receiving love. That is not how I made you. I did not create you to live in constant retreat from hope. I did not shape your spirit so you would spend your life apologizing for existing, shrinking in rooms I assigned you to, or questioning whether you belong where my hand is leading you. Come closer and let me correct what fear has taught you. Let me untangle what pain has wrapped around your confidence. Let me show you that being careful is not the same as being healed, and being guarded is not the same as being wise. You do not need to keep building your identity out of what hurt you. Lay those old labels down. Put them at my feet. Give me the names your past tried to pin on you, and let me replace them with what I have always known. So here is what I am asking you to do right now. Be honest about the lies you have been rehearsing. Name them in your heart. Bring them into the light. Do not keep protecting them just because they have been familiar. Familiar does not mean faithful. If you have been telling yourself that you are forgotten, release that now. If you have been assuming that your best days belong to other people, surrender that now. If you have been calling yourself damaged in ways that make you hesitate to receive my love or walk in your calling, let that go. Invite me into that inner conversation. Let my truth become louder than the echoes of your old pain. You are not who rejection said you were. You are not who failure accused you of being. You are not the worst thing that happened to you. You are mine, and I have not changed my mind about you. Receive that with humility. Receive it with courage. Receive it even if your feelings lag behind for a while. I am not asking you to feel it all at once. I am asking you to stop resisting the truth. Let me rebuild the way you see yourself, because the next season of your life cannot be entered through the doorway of an identity that was shaped by lies. My child, once you begin loosening your grip on the lies that have followed you, you will be able to look at your past with different eyes. I know there are parts of your journey you still wish had never happened. There are chapters you would erase if you could. There are conversations you replay, losses you still feel, and moments you remember with a heaviness that has not fully left your body. I understand that. I am not asking you to pretend those things were easy, and I am not asking you to call suffering good simply because I can use it. But I am asking you to let me show you something sacred inside what felt senseless. Your pain has not only been hurting you, it has also been teaching you. Quietly, deeply, sometimes painfully. The betrayal taught you discernment, even if you first experienced it as heartbreak. The waiting taught you endurance, even if at the time it just felt like frustration. The loneliness taught you how to hear me in places where noise used to distract you. The disappointment exposed where your heart had leaned too heavily on people, outcomes, or timelines instead of trusting my steadier hand. None of that means I wanted to wound you. It means I refused to waste what wounded you. There is a difference, and I need you to understand it. You have been tempted to look at your past as if it were only a collection of losses, but that is not the full picture. You have become someone in the middle of all this. Look at yourself honestly. You notice the fatigue, but I see depth. You notice the scars, but I see wisdom. You notice the places where you had to rebuild, but I see how much stronger your inner life has become than it once was. Before some of these seasons you were easier to distract, easier to impress, easier to pull off course. Now you carry a different kind of awareness. You notice what drains your peace faster. You recognize certain patterns sooner. You sense what is hollow more quickly. That did not come from comfort. That came through fire. It came through walking through places you never wanted to be and discovering that I was still there, still steady, still speaking, still holding you when everything else felt unstable. So do not despise what was formed in you there. Do not reduce your pain to something that merely happened to you. Ask what it built in you. Ask what it revealed. Ask what kind of person you are becoming because you stayed open instead of turning cold. That question will begin to redeem things your mind has only known how to mourn. Now I want you to do something that may feel uncomfortable, but it will free you. Stop looking backward only to relive what hurt. Start looking backward to gather what was learned. Sit with me in your own history and let me interpret it with you. Let me show you where you grew, where you matured, where your spirit deepened, where your voice became quieter but truer, where your dependence shifted from the fragile things of this world toward something eternal. Invite me into your memories, not so you can stay trapped there, but so you can leave with wisdom instead of wounds alone. This matters, because if you only remember pain, you will carry fear into your future. But if you recognize the lessons hidden inside the pain, you will carry discernment, steadiness, and spiritual weight. That changes everything. Your story is not a pile of broken pieces. It is a field where hard things became holy in my hands. Let me show you that. Let me reframe it. And once you begin to see that your pain was also preparing your perception, you will be ready to recognize why I chose you for what comes next. My child, I need to take you into a truth that will challenge the way you have measured yourself for far too long. You keep waiting to feel ready before you fully believe that I chose you. You keep thinking there must be a future version of you, a stronger version, a cleaner version, a more disciplined version, a less wounded version, and that somehow when you become that person, then my calling will finally make sense. But listen to me carefully and let this go down deep into your spirit. I did not choose you after your healing. I did not choose you after your confidence returned. I did not choose you after you became polished enough to impress people or organized enough to impress yourself. I chose you while you were still becoming. I chose you when you were unsure. I chose you when you were carrying questions. I chose you when parts of you still felt unfinished. That was not a mistake. That was my design. So stop standing outside the door of purpose waiting for permission from your own insecurity. Stop acting as though your hesitation has more authority than my decision. Come closer. Let me teach you how I choose. I do not choose the way the world chooses. The world looks for shine. I look for surrender. The world looks for certainty. I look for willingness. The world rewards image. I build through depth. And that is why I can place my hand on someone like you and call them forward long before they feel capable. You have spent too much time disqualifying yourself for the very things I already knew when I called you. I knew where you would struggle. I knew the fears you would wrestle with. I knew the habits you would need to unlearn. I knew the wounds that would make you second-guess yourself. None of that surprised me. None of that changed my mind. Yet you have treated your imperfections like a courtroom, and you have let them argue against your future as if they were stronger than my voice. They are not. Your weakness has never been greater than my wisdom. Your confusion has never been stronger than my clarity. Your process has never canceled my purpose. I want you to understand something with holy honesty. If I waited until you felt fully ready, you would probably stay standing still for years. Readiness, the way you imagine it, is often an illusion. What I ask from you is not flawless confidence. What I ask from you is trust. I want your yes before you see everything. I want your openness before you have all the answers. I want your obedience before the road feels comfortable. That is how I shape a soul. That is how I build a life that can actually carry what heaven intends. So stop demanding perfection from yourself before you accept what I have already spoken over you. Release that burden. Lay it down. Let me carry it. Now I want you to do something practical in your spirit. Stop saying, maybe one day, every time I nudge you toward what matters. Stop waiting for a cleaner emotional forecast before you move. Instead, bring me your unfinished self and let me work with what is already in your hands. Bring me your trembling faith. Bring me your inconsistent courage. Bring me the part of you that still wonders if you can really do what I have put in front of you. I can work with honesty. I can work with humility. I can work with a heart that admits it needs me. What I cannot bless is a life that keeps hiding behind excuses dressed up as caution. So step closer. Say yes again. Receive this without shrinking from it. You were chosen on purpose, not by accident, and not after you became enough by human standards. I made you, I know you, and I still call you. Let that free you. Let that steady you. And let that truth prepare you for what I am about to show you next, because the calling on your life is larger than what you have been allowing yourself to imagine. I chose you before you felt ready, and I am calling you now to move before you feel certain. Do not ignore the stirring within you. That is my spirit inviting you to help carry this message to others who are still waiting to hear that they are chosen too. When you give, you are pouring oil into a lamp that refuses to go out, a light that reaches into hidden places and awakens weary souls. I have said, those who sow in tears shall reap in joy, and I am watching what you place in my hands in this moment. If you feel the nudge, that is not hesitation, it is invitation. Step into it by sending super thanks, becoming a member, or giving through PayPal in the description. I will honor your willingness and cause provision to meet you in unexpected ways. Do not wait for readiness, move now, and let your yes echo into eternity. My child, you have underestimated what I placed inside you. You have made yourself smaller in your own mind than what I intended. Some of it came from pain. Some of it came from disappointment. Some of it came from being around people who could only understand you through the limits of their own fear. And some of it came from the long, slow wear of life itself. Little by little, you stopped expecting much from your own future. You learned how to function, how to survive, how to carry responsibilities, how to keep going, but somewhere in the middle of all that, you began to quietly lower your expectations of what your life could actually mean. You started thinking in smaller circles. You stopped stretching your faith. You began telling yourself that maybe being steady was enough, maybe getting through the week was enough, maybe staying safe was enough. But I want you to hear me now with fresh ears. There is more on your life than mere survival. There is more in you than what your current circumstances have been reflecting back to you. Do not settle for a life that only makes room for coping when I form you for calling. I am not only speaking about something public, dramatic, or visible to other people. Do not misunderstand me. Purpose is not always loud. It is not always a platform that to applause. Sometimes purpose begins in hidden rooms, in healed habits, in restored peace, in the courage to obey me in private when no one else sees what I am growing in you. But hidden does not mean small. Quiet does not mean insignificant. I want you to stop measuring purpose by what the world celebrates. Start measuring it by what heaven entrusted to you. I placed things in you that are still waiting for your agreement. I placed insight in you. I placed compassion in you. I placed discernment in you. I placed resilience in you. I placed a voice in you that may not sound like anyone else, and that is exactly why it matters. I placed experiences in your story that did not only happen to you. They became part of what equips you to reach, strengthen, comfort, and awaken others in ways you do not yet fully understand. So come out of agreement with the small version of your life that fear built. Let it go. Refuse to keep living inside a narrative that only makes room for disappointment. I am asking you to expand your expectation, not because you have to manufacture hype, but because you need to stop living beneath what I have spoken. Here is what I want from you now. Lift your eyes. Let your spirit come up higher than the tired script you have been repeating in your mind. Stop introducing yourself to your future as if you are just trying to get by. Stop walking into your own days like nothing sacred is attached to them. Ask me to show you what I have hidden in plain sight. Invite me to uncover the parts of your calling you have been ignoring because they felt too risky, too uncertain, or too beyond you. And when I show you even a glimpse, do not dismiss it. Stay with it. Pray over it. Protect it. Nurture it. Let it grow roots before you rush to explain it to anyone else. I am not asking you to force something. I am asking you to believe that there is more than what you have seen so far. There is more peace available to you. There is more healing ahead of you. There is more usefulness in your story than you have imagined. There is more alignment coming than your current season suggests. Receive that. Let it challenge the way you think. And as you begin to accept that your life carries more weight than you once believed, you will be ready to understand why some things had to leave before the next door could open. My child, I need to help you make peace with something that has been hurting you more deeply than you admit. Some of what left your life did not leave because you failed. Some of what ended did not end because you were unworthy. Some of what broke apart was not proof that I had stepped away from you. It was proof that I was making room. I know how personal it felt when certain people changed, when certain doors closed, when certain opportunities slipped away just when you thought they would finally become the answer. I know how quickly your heart tried to interpret those moments as rejection. You wondered if you were too much, not enough, too late, or somehow outside of favor. But come closer, and let me say this in a way your soul can actually receive. Not everything you lost was stolen from you. Some things were removed from you because they could not survive in the future I prepared for you. Stop calling every departure a tragedy. Some departures were protection wearing the face of disappointment. You have grieved things that were never meant to carry your destiny. That grief was real, and I do not dismiss it. I saw how much you invested. I saw how much hope you died to certain people, certain plan, certain imagination. I saw how hard you tried to make things work because you wanted relief, stability, love, or direction. And when it all unraveled, it felt cruel. It felt confusing. It felt like the ground shifted under you without warning. But what you did not see then was what I saw clearly. I saw where some of those paths would have led if I had let you keep walking them. I saw what would have slowly drained your peace, diluted your discernment, delayed your healing, or chained your future to what was never built to sustain your soul. I blocked things because I love you. I allowed certain endings because I refused to bless what would eventually break you in deeper ways. So stop romanticizing what I removed. Stop reopening doors I already closed. Stop asking me to resurrect what I lovingly buried. There are places in your past that feel familiar, but familiar does not mean safe, and it certainly does not mean assigned. Let that settle in you. Let it cut through the confusion. Let it free you from the need to keep reaching back toward what I have already called finite. Now I want you to do something that may feel like surrender, because it is. Release your grip on what left. Stop negotiating with old attachments in your mind. Stop replaying every ending as if one more analysis will somehow change what I have already allowed. Bring your questions to me, yes, but do not build your identity around what did not stay. Instead, ask me what the space is for now. Ask me what I am planting where something was uprooted. Ask me what I am protecting by keeping certain things at a distance. Open your hands and let me fill what grief has left empty. Trust me enough to believe that if I removed it, I also made provision for what comes next. You do not need to chase what I am not in. You do not need to force what I have already released from your life. Walk forward. Let the ache teach you, but do not let it anchor you. The next part of your story needs room to breathe, and some things had to leave before that could happen. Stay with me here, because once you stop mourning what was never meant to remain, you will begin to notice the shift of a new season rising around you. My child, after everything you have walked through, I know how easy it is for you to look for visible proof before you allow yourself to hope. You want to see the open door, the answered prayer, the restored relationship, the clear sign, the unmistakable breakthrough. That desire makes sense after a long season of uncertainty. But I need you to understand how I often move when I begin changing a life from the inside out. The next season will not always announce itself with noise at the beginning. It will often arrive quietly. It will begin in your spirit before it becomes obvious in your circumstances. You may notice a calm you cannot explain. You may find that certain things no longer disturb you the way they used to. You may sense a steadiness where there used to be panic, a clarity where there used to be mental fog, a quiet confidence where there used to be hesitation. Pay attention to that. Do not dismiss it because it does not look dramatic enough. That internal shift is not small. That is often how I signal that a new season has already begun. Stop waiting for everything around you to change before you honor what I am changing within you. Learn to recognize my movement by the peace I place in you, not only by the doors I open in front of you. You have been trained by hardship to look for danger first. You have become skilled at scanning for what might go wrong, what might fail, what might disappear, what might disappoint you again. That is understandable, but I do not want you living there any longer. I want you to retrain your attention. Start noticing what is aligning instead of only what is threatening. Notice the conversations that feel clean instead of draining. Notice the moments where your heart feels less crowded. Notice where your desire to force things is beginning to fall away. Notice when your spirit starts resisting what once felt normal because you are no longer meant to stay there. These are not random emotional fluctuations. These are signs. I am adjusting your inner atmosphere so you can recognize the outer changes when they arrive. If I moved everything around you first while your inner life stayed the same, you might mishandle what I send. So I often begin by changing what you carry before I change what surrounds you. That is mercy. That is wisdom. It is a father preparing you to recognize blessing without sabotaging it through fear, overthinking, or old survival instincts. So breathe. Slow down. Stop demanding fireworks as your only evidence. Learn to value the sacred quiet of internal transformation. And now I want you to respond differently than you have before. Do not wait passively, and do not panic because everything has not changed overnight. Instead, cooperate with the shift. Welcome the peace. Protect the clarity. Honor the new boundaries I am forming in you. When you sense me drawing you away from old habits, old conversations, or old emotional reactions, do not resist it. Follow me there. If you feel a strange stillness replacing your old urgency, do not call it emptiness. Call it preparation. If you feel less interested in proving yourself, less drawn to chaos, less willing to entertain what once consumed your energy, that is not you becoming dull. That is you becoming aligned. Receive it. Say yes to it. Let your spirit settle into this new way of living. The season ahead may not look fully different yet, but if you stay close to me, you will feel the difference first, and that feeling will teach you how to walk when the visible doors begin to open. Stay ready. Stay soft. Stay alert. Because what begins quietly in you is about to become undeniable around you. My child, I need to confront a habit in you that has quietly stolen confidence from your spirit for too long. You have spoken about your life as if it happened to you by accident. You have looked at the detours, the losses, the pauses, the strange timing, and the unfinished parts, and you have called it randomness because that felt easier than trying to understand what I was doing. I know why you did that. Calling it random protected you from disappointment. It gave you a way to lower your expectations so you would not feel the sting of hope as deeply. But I am asking you now to stop speaking over your own life in a way that contradicts my hand. Stop calling random what I have been carefully arranging. Stop treating your story like scattered fragments when I have been weaving it with intention from the beginning. I was not absent in the parts that confused you. I was not distant in the chapters that felt disorganized. I was not careless with the timing that frustrated you. You are not living inside a pile of accidents. You are living inside a story that has been held, guided, corrected, slowed down, and protected by a Father who sees far beyond the chapter you are standing in right now. I want you to understand how deeply this matters, because the way you describe your life shapes the way you respond to it. If you keep calling your life random, you will keep expecting less from it. You will keep approaching your days with caution instead of reverence. You will keep treating holy moments like interruptions and divine nudges like emotional noise. That is too small for who you are becoming. I need you to come into agreement with something greater. The fact that you survived what should have undone you was not random. The people who left at the exact moment they could no longer go where I was taking you were not random. The delays that forced you to grow roots before you carried more weight were not random. The inner stirring you have felt lately, the unease with old patterns, the strange sense that something is shifting even before you can explain it, none of that is random. It is my hand moving through your life with precision. It is my spirit trying to retrain the way you see. So stop speaking over yourself like someone who has been overlooked by heaven. Stop narrating your life through disappointment alone. Let me teach you how to read your own story through purpose. Let me show you how even the confusing parts have been connected in ways you will understand more clearly as you keep walking with me. Now I want you to make a decision in your spirit. Change the way you talk about your life starting now. When your mind tries to say, "It was probably just chance," pause and invite me in. When you are tempted to dismiss a deep inner stirring, slow down and ask me what I am showing you. When you feel yourself slipping back into that old language of being unlucky, overlooked, or off track, stop and replace it with truth. Say to yourself, "My life is not random. My steps are being guided. My delays had purpose. My losses make room. My story is still being written." Do not say it as performance. Say it as alignment. Speak in agreement with what I have already been doing. I am asking you to honor your own life differently now. Treat your days as sacred ground. Expect me in ordinary moments. Watch for me in what once seemed small. Let your heart become alert to intention instead of numb with resignation. Because once you stop calling your life random, you will be able to release the version of yourself that was built only to survive it, and that is where I am leading you next. You are beginning to see that nothing in your life has been random, and neither is your presence here right now. I have aligned this moment as an opportunity for you to take part in something intentional, something that reaches beyond you into lives that are searching for me. Every seed you release becomes a river that carries my word further than you can imagine, touching hearts you may never meet but I deeply love. Remember, as long as the earth remains, seed time and harvest shall not cease, and I am the Lord of that harvest. This is not chance. This is a divine appointment for you to give with purpose. Support this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal. The link is in the description waiting for your obedience. I will watch over what you sow and cause it to return in multiplied form. Step into alignment now and give as one who knows their life is guided. My child, I need to show you something that may feel uncomfortable, but it is necessary if you are going to step fully into what I prepared for you. You have been living for a long time in survival mode, and I understand why. Survival kept you moving when you were hurt. Survival helped you function when your heart was overloaded. Survival taught you how to stay alert, how to lower your expectations, how to protect yourself before anything else could hurt you again. It helped you get through seasons where simply making it to the end of the day felt like a victory. I do not shame you for that. I was with you in that. I carried you there. But hear me clearly now. Survival was a season, not an identity. It may have preserved you in one chapter, but it cannot lead you into the next one. If you keep living as though your only job is to avoid pain, you will miss the life I am trying to build through you. If you keep guarding every part of yourself as if danger is always at the door, you will struggle to receive the peace, intimacy, clarity, and courage that purpose requires. So do not cling to the version of yourself that was formed under pressure as though it is the fullest version of who you are. It is not. Survival mode changes the way you think, and I want you to notice that. It makes you expect loss before joy. It makes you hesitate when I ask you to trust. It makes you pull back from people, opportunities, and assignments that are actually safe because your body and mind still remember what was not. It can make you mistake numbness for peace and control for wisdom. It can make you feel productive while you are actually just staying guarded. I am not speaking this to expose you with harshness. I am speaking it because I love you too much to let you remain trapped in a pattern that no longer matches the season I am bringing you into. You do not need to brace yourself the way you used to. You do not need to overanalyze every open door as if blessing is a trick. You do not need to keep rehearsing disappointment so you can feel prepared for it. Come closer and let me loosen your grip. Let me teach your nervous soul that not every new thing is a threat. Let me show you that healing is not only the absence of pain, but the restoration of your ability to receive good things without fear corrupting them before they fully arrive. That is part of what I am doing in you right now, even if it feels unfamiliar. So here is what I am asking you to do, and I want you to respond with courage. Release the identity you built in crisis. Thank it for carrying you through what it had to, and then let it go. Stop introducing yourself to your future as someone who is merely trying to make it. Stop walking into new seasons with old armor that I did not ask you to wear. Lay down the habits that were born from fear. Bring me the overthinking. Bring me the emotional distance. Bring me the constant need to control what has not happened yet. Invite me into those reflexes and let me retrain them. This will not always feel instant, but it will be real. Each time you choose trust over panic, you are leaving survival mode. Each time you stay open instead of shutting down, you are leaving survival mode. Each time you receive peace without suspicion, you are leaving survival mode. Keep walking with me there. Let me rebuild your inner life so it can actually carry purpose, not just pain management. Because the life ahead of you is not meant to be spent merely enduring. It is meant to be lived with intention, and I am calling you out of survival so you can finally step into it. My child, I need to bring you to a place that requires real honesty. There are things you are still carrying that do not belong in the season ahead. I am not saying this to shame you. I am saying it because I love you enough to tell you the truth before the next door opens. You cannot walk freely into what I prepared while dragging the weight of old hurt, old resentment, old fear, and old attachments behind you. You have been trying to move forward while secretly keeping certain wounds close, almost as if holding onto them makes you feel protected. I understand why. Pain can become familiar. Disappointment can become a strange kind of companion. Sometimes the things that hurt you the most become the very things you keep touching in your mind because they feel known, even if they are heavy. But listen to me carefully now. What is familiar is not always what is faithful. Some of what you have been holding on to has already finished its purpose. It taught you what it needed to teach you. It revealed what it needed to reveal. Now it is time to put it down. Do not keep carrying old sorrow into a place I designed for peace. Do not keep rehearsing past betrayal in a season where I am trying to restore your trust. If you insist on holding what I am asking you to release, you will make the next chapter harder than it needs to be. I know there are names that still stir pain in you. I know there are memories that rise without warning and tighten your chest. I know there are moments when anger still feels easier than surrender because anger at least gives you the illusion of control. But I need you to understand what bitterness does. It keeps your heart tethered to places I have already called finished. It keeps your energy tied to people who are no longer meant to shape your future. It makes your spirit heavy in rooms where I want you light and clear. Forgiveness is not pretending what happened was acceptable. It is not calling evil good. It is not denying what it cost you. Forgiveness is your refusal to let old pain keep occupying sacred space in your soul. It is your decision to trust me with justice instead of making your inner life a courtroom that never closes. So come closer and let me ask you plainly, who are you still carrying? What offense are you still feeding in private? What memory do you keep returning to as if it still has authority over your peace? Bring it to me. Name it if you have to. Lay it down in your spirit. Stop protecting the wound. Stop building around it. Let me touch it without resistance. I can heal what you stop hiding, but I will not force your hand open. You must choose release. So I want you to respond now with courage, not later when it feels easier. Open your hands in your heart. Tell me what you have been clutching. Give me the bitterness. Give me the disappointment. Give me the relationship you still secretly wish had ended differently. Give me the offense you revisit when you are tired. Give me the grief you keep replaying because you think letting it go means what happened did not matter. It mattered. I know it mattered. That is exactly why I'm asking for it. Let me carry what has been too sharp for your soul. Let me remove what keeps poisoning your peace. You do not need to punish yourself by carrying what I already invited you to surrender. Release it, not because the past deserves peace, but because you do. Release it because your future deserves a heart that is not chained to what wounded it. Release it because I am making room in you for something cleaner, stronger, and more aligned than what pain has trained you to expect. Stay with me here. This is not a small step. This is a threshold. And when you cross it, you will begin to understand that purpose often opens where resentment finally ends. My child, after you begin releasing what cannot go with you, you may expect everything to change all at once. You may think purpose should arrive with a dramatic sign, a clear platform, a sudden breakthrough that leaves no room for doubt. I understand that desire. After all you have walked through, it makes sense that you would want something unmistakable. But I need you to slow down and let me teach you how I often begin. Purpose does not always arrive with noise. It often begins in hidden places, in ordinary decisions, in small acts of obedience that no one else notices. It may begin in the way you guard your peace differently. It may begin in the way you stop returning to old habits. It may begin in the way you start waking up with a little more clarity, speaking with a little more honesty, choosing with a little more courage. Do not dismiss these things because they look simple. Do not overlook what I am building just because it is not visible enough to impress anyone yet. The seed is not less powerful because it is underground. The root is not less important because it is unseen. In fact, Some of the holiest beginnings in your life will happen where no one is clapping, no one is validating, and no one fully understands what I am doing in you except you and me. You have spent enough of your life looking for significance in ways that the world can quickly recognize. That has made it easier for you to miss the sacred work I have been doing in private. Some of the most important shifts in your life will not begin with public confirmation. They will begin with internal agreement. They will begin when you finally say yes in places where fear used to answer for you. They will begin when you obey me in small moments without demanding immediate results. They will begin when you protect what I am growing instead of rushing to prove it. So hear me clearly. Do not force visibility before maturity. Do not drag a fresh thing into the open before it has roots. Do not despise the hidden season simply because it feels slower than your emotions want. I am often doing my deepest work there. I am teaching you to value substance over appearance, depth over speed, alignment over applause. That matters because what grows too fast without roots can collapse under the weight of attention. I am not preparing you for a moment. I am preparing you for endurance. I am not only giving you something exciting. I am building something sustainable. It takes time, and it often starts in places that look unimpressive to everyone except heaven. So here is what I want you to do now. Honor the small beginnings. Pay attention to what feels new inside you, even if it looks fragile. Protect the quiet changes. Nurture the disciplines that are returning. Guard the peace that has started to settle. If I give you a small instruction, obey it fully instead of waiting for a larger one. If I show you one next step, take it with faith instead of demanding the whole map. Let me train you to recognize purpose in seed form. Let me teach you to value hidden growth. Stop comparing your beginning to someone else's middle. Stop dismissing your own progress because it is not loud yet. What I am planting in you right now may look small, but it is not small to me. It carries weight. It carries direction. It carries future fruit you cannot yet see. Receive that. Be patient with what is becoming. Stay close to me in the unseen places. Because if you learn how to honor what begins quietly, you will be ready when the doors open in ways that no one can ignore, and you will not mistake the next move of my hand for something you have to force. My child, I need to prepare your heart for something that may feel unfamiliar at first. The next door I open for you will not require the same kind of exhausting striving that marked your past. I know you have spent a long time believing that if something matters, it must come with tension, confusion, pressure, and constant force. You became used to pushing. You became used to overthinking. You became used to carrying the burden of trying to make things happen because so much in your life once felt uncertain and fragile. But I want you to hear me clearly before you step into what is next. Not every meaningful thing has to be wrestled into existence. Not every open door will feel like a fight. Not every blessing will arrive through chaos. Some things I open will come with a strange steadiness that your old survival instincts may not trust at first. That does not mean they are less significant. It often means I am in them in a way you have not yet learned to recognize. So stop assuming that struggle is the only evidence of value. Stop calling peace suspicious. Stop treating these as if it must be a trap. I am teaching you a new language now, and part of that language is learning to recognize my hand in what unfolds with grace instead of strain. You have chased things before that drained you before they ever blessed you. You have tried to hold together relationships that kept taking from your peace. You have pursued opportunities that looked promising but demanded you betray your own inner clarity just to keep them alive. You have begged for doors to stay open when I was already closing them in mercy. That season taught you something, but it was never meant to become your standard. I do not want you measuring the future by the dysfunction of the past. What I bring into alignment will not require you to abandon your peace in order to possess it. It will not demand that you shrink, perform, manipulate, panic, or chase what I already assigned. Yes, there will still be responsibility. Yes, there will still be faith. Yes, there will still be moments that stretch you. But the atmosphere will be different. You will sense a steadier grace around what is mine. You will notice less confusion. You will notice fewer compromises. You will feel a cleaner yes in your spirit, even if the path still asks for courage. That matters. Pay attention to that. Do not sabotage what I send because it does not match the old pattern of hardship you once mistook for destiny. I am not repeating your old cycles. I am leading you into alignment, and alignment often feels gentler than fear expected. So I want you to do something important before the next opportunity, relationship, assignment, or breakthrough comes into view. Retrain your heart now. Tell yourself the truth before the moment arrives. Say, I do not need to force what God is opening. I do not need to chase what belongs to me. I do not need to call confusion confirmation. I do not need to earn what grace has already prepared. Let that settle into your spirit. And stay alert. When something begins to unfold with peace, do not run from it just because it feels different. When something fits without the usual panic, do not assume it lacks depth. When I open a door and your spirit feels steady instead of frantic, walk through it with gratitude instead of suspicion. Receive what I am teaching you. Learn the difference between stretching and straining. Learn the difference between holy courage and anxious control. Let me show you how to walk with me instead of dragging your future behind your fear. Because what I open next will not need the same kind of labor that once exhausted you. And if you trust me there, you will finally understand that my hand can make room for you without making you lose yourself in the process. What I open for you will not require strain, and even your giving in this moment will flow from peace, not pressure. I am teaching you a new way, where obedience is not forced, but freely offered, like water flowing from a full well. As you support this work, you are not chasing blessing. You are participating in a harvest that I have already prepared. I will open the windows of heaven and pour out a blessing you cannot contain. This is my promise over those who trust me in their giving. Let this be easy, led by my spirit, not by fear or hesitation. If your heart feels steady as you hear this, that is my confirmation to act. Give through super thanks, become a member, or use the PayPal link in the description. Walk in this grace now, and let your generosity move without striving. My child, I need to correct another misunderstanding that has quietly delayed you in the past. Sometimes when you hear that I am working, you become passive. You tell yourself to wait, but what you call waiting sometimes becomes hesitation, avoidance, or fear dressed in spiritual language. I need you to hear me with tenderness and clarity. I am not asking you to sit frozen while I do everything around you. I am asking you to walk with me. There is a difference. Being chosen does not mean you become motionless. Being called does not mean you avoid responsibility. Trust is not the same as an activity. I do not want you forcing doors open, but I also do not want you standing outside the door I open because you are waiting for another sign, another feeling, another confirmation, another perfect moment that may never come in the way you imagine. Sometimes the next step is already in front of you, and what I am waiting for is your response. So stop hiding behind endless caution. Stop calling delay discernment when I already gave you peace about the direction. Stop asking me to move mountains while refusing to take the simple step I placed right in front of you. I know why you do this. Movement can feel risky after disappointment. Obedience can feel vulnerable after seasons where nothing made sense. You do not want to move too soon. You do not want to be wrong. You do not want to relive the pain of hoping for something that does not unfold the way you expected. I understand that. But I want you to understand me too. I do not require perfect certainty before every act of obedience. I often lead you one step at a time because I am not just taking you somewhere. I am teaching you how to trust me while you move. If I gave you the entire map, you might rely on the map more than on me. So I give you the next right step. Sometimes it looks small. Sometimes it feels almost too simple. Reach out to that person. Set that boundary. Begin that discipline. Return to that quiet place with me. Apply for that opportunity. Say no where your spirit has been unsettled. Say yes where I have been gently nudging you. That is movement. That is partnership. That is how calling becomes lived reality instead of a distant idea you keep admiring from afar. I do not need you to leap recklessly. I need you to respond faithfully. There is a holy rhythm in that, and I want you to learn it. So now I am inviting you to stop waiting like someone who is afraid and start walking like someone who is guided. Bring me your hesitation, but do not build your home there. Bring me your questions, but do not let them become your excuse. Ask me for wisdom, and then honor the answer when it comes, even if it asks something simple, humble, or inconvenient. If I tell you to prepare, then prepare. If I tell you to rest, then rest. If I tell you to speak, then speak. If I tell you to release, then release. If I tell you to begin, then begin. Do not overcomplicate what I am making clear. The next season of your life will not be built by frantic effort, but neither will it be built by passive delay. It will be built by partnership. It will be built as you learn to move with me in real time. That is what I am forming in you now. So take the next step with me. Not tomorrow if you already know what it is. Not when it feels easier. Start where I am already speaking. Because purpose is not only discovered in revelation, it is confirmed in response, and I am ready to meet you in motion. My child, I need you to understand something that will change the way you see everything you have endured. What you survived was never meant to stop with you. I know there were seasons when all you could think about was making it through the day, and that was real. I know there were moments when the pain felt so personal, so consuming, that the only thing you could imagine was relief. But I want you to see beyond survival now. I want you to understand that your story carries more than recovery. It carries usefulness. It carries weight. It carries the kind of depth that can become shelter for someone else who is standing where you once stood. The tears you cried in private were not only tears of pain. They were also watering something in you that will one day comfort, strengthen, and steady other hearts. Do not misunderstand me. I am not saying I caused every wound just to make a lesson out of you. I am saying I refuse to let your suffering remain meaningless. I have been shaping something in you that will reach farther than your own healing, and that is part of why you were chosen. You have gained things in hidden places that cannot be taught in shallow ways. You know what it feels like to keep breathing when everything inside you wants to shut down. You know what it feels like to carry questions and still keep listening for my voice. You know how loneliness changes a soul, how betrayal rearranges trust, how disappointment can make even simple hope feel costly. That knowledge is not glamorous, but it is powerful when it is surrendered to me. It becomes compassion with weight behind it. It becomes wisdom that does not sound rehearsed. It becomes a presence that can sit with someone in pain without needing to perform or fix them too quickly. That matters more than you realize. Some people speak from theory. You will speak from truth you have lived. Some people offer words they learned. You will carry words that were forged in fire. That does not make you better than anyone. It makes you useful in ways that pain alone could never explain. So stop seeing your story as something to hide because it is messy. Stop assuming your scars only disqualify you from being seen. In my hands, what once made you feel fragile can become part of how I reach others through you. Let me redeem your history. Let me breathe purpose into the very places you once thought were only broken. So here is what I want from you now. Do not close off the parts of your story I may want to use. Let me heal them first, yes. Let me strengthen you. Let me restore what needs restoring. But do not assume that your past must remain buried forever in shame. Bring it to me. Ask me what part of your journey is meant to become medicine for someone else. Ask me where your pain has made you gentler, wiser, more discerning, more able to carry another person without judgment. Stay humbled there. Stay tender there. You do not need to force a platform. You do not need to manufacture a role. Just stay available. Live honestly. Let your healing deepen. Let your obedience stay simple. And when I open the moment for your story to become light for another soul, do not pull back. Step into it. Speak when I tell you to speak. Sit with people when I tell you to stay. Offer comfort when I place it in your heart. Because your life was never designed to be a closed loop of pain and recovery. I am writing something larger than that. I am turning what almost broke you into a doorway through which my grace can reach someone else, and that is one more reason this was never random. My child, after everything I have shown you, I need to bring you to the place where this message becomes more than understanding. It must become response. You have heard me speak to your pain, your delay, your survival, your calling, your future, and the quiet ways I have been shaping you all along. But now I am asking you for something personal. I am asking for your agreement. I am not asking you to create purpose from nothing. I am not asking you to earn what I have already placed on your life. I am asking you to stop resisting what heaven already decided about you before you ever knew how to name it. There is a difference. So many times you have lived as though your uncertainty could cancel my intention. You have treated your fear like it had the final word. You have let your past speak louder than my voice. But this moment is not just about hearing a comforting message and moving on. This moment is an invitation. It is a threshold. It is me drawing near and saying, will you finally agree with me about who you are, what I have been doing, and what I am calling you into? That question matters. Do not rush past it. Sit with it. Let it press gently on your spirit until you answer with honesty. Agreement is not a feeling first. It is a choice. You may not feel strong yet. You may not feel fully healed yet. You may still have questions that have not been answered and places in you that are still tender. I know that. I am not asking for a polished version of surrender. I am asking for a real one. I want your yes in the middle of your process. I want your willingness before all the evidence arrives. I want your heart to stop arguing with my hand. So listen to me now and respond. If I say you were chosen, stop calling yourself overlooked. If I say your life carries purpose, stop reducing it to accidents and detours. If I say the season is shifting, stop rehearsing only the old story of delay. If I say something had to leave, stop chasing what I remove. If I say the next door will not need to be forced, stop preparing for chaos as though that is the only language you know. Let your inner life come into alignment with what I have already been speaking. That is what agreement looks like. It is not loud. It is not theatrical. It is sacred. It is a deep internal turning where your spirit stops resisting truth and begins to live in step with it. That is what I am inviting you into now. So do not stay passive here. Answer me. Open your heart and say yes where you have been hesitant. Say yes to healing. Say yes to release. Say yes to purpose. Say yes to the next step, even if you only see one. Say yes to letting go of the version of you that lived beneath what I spoke. You do not need to know everything to say yes. You only need to trust the one who does. So come closer. Breathe deeply. Let the noise settle. And in your own way, in your own words, tell me that you agree. Tell me you are ready to stop shrinking. Tell me you are ready to stop calling your life random. Tell me you are willing to move when I lead. Tell me you are ready to receive what I prepared instead of fearing it before it arrives. This is your moment, not because I am suddenly near, but because you are finally being invited to consciously join what I have been doing all along. Do not waste this moment by only feeling moved. Be changed by it. Let this be the place where your heart stops resisting and starts aligning, because what comes next will ask for agreement, and I am asking for yours now. My child, I want you to stand still for one final moment and let this truth settle all the way into the deepest part of you. Nothing in your story was wasted. Not the years you thought were lost. Not the tears you cried when no one knew what to say. Not the doors that closed in front of you. Not the people who walked away. Not the prayers that seemed to hang in silence longer than your heart could understand. Not the nights when you felt like you were barely holding yourself together. I was there in every part of it, and I was doing more than you realized. I was not merely helping you survive those moments. I was gathering them. I was shaping them. I was redeeming them piece by piece, even while you were still trying to understand why they happened at all. So I need you to stop looking at your past like a graveyard of failed hopes. Stop calling it wasted time. Stop speaking over your own history as though pain had the final word. It did not. I do. And I am telling you now that what looked like fragments in your hands have never been fragments in mine. I have held every chapter together, and what comes next will begin to reveal that in ways your heart has longed to understand. You have lived through enough confusion to know how easy it is to assume that if something hurt deeply, it must have permanently stolen something from you. But listen to me carefully now. Some things were taken, yes. Some things were lost, yes. Some seasons ended in ways you would never have chosen, and I do not ask you to pretend otherwise. Yet even there, I did not leave you empty. I was building in you what suffering could not destroy. I was forming wisdom where naivety once lived. I was creating depth where you once depended on surface things. I was teaching you how to hear me beneath the noise, how to stand when feelings shifted, how to keep your heart alive without letting the world make it hard. That matters. It matters more than you know. And now the season is coming where you will begin to see the fruit of what was hidden. You will recognize why certain things had to break. You will understand why certain doors stayed shut. You will see that what felt like delay was often protection, what felt like loss was sometimes clearing, and what felt like silence was not absence but preparation. So lift your eyes now. Expect me. Watch what I do next without cynicism. Do not brace yourself for disappointment out of habit. Instead, make room for holy surprise. Make room for peace that feels unfamiliar because it has not been interrupted yet. Make room for alignment that does not require chaos. Make room for joy that does not need permission from your past. So here is my final invitation to you in this moment. Receive your story back from my hands. Stop treating it like evidence against yourself. Stop carrying it like a burden that only proves how hard life has been. Bring every chapter to me and let me name it correctly. Let me call it preparation. Let me call it refinement. Let me call it protection. Let me call it proof that I never stopped working, even when you could not see me clearly. And then step forward. Do not linger in old grief when I am opening new ground. Do not keep staring at closed doors when I am asking you to walk toward what is opening now. Trust me enough to believe that the next chapter will not mock your pain. It will make sense of it. The next chapter will not erase what you lived through, but it will reveal that I was writing with purpose the entire time. Come with me now. Leave behind the old language of randomness, failure, and wasted years. Take up the truth instead. You were chosen. You were preserved. You were shaped. You were guided. And you are stepping into a season where what once looked scattered will begin to stand together as undeniable evidence that I had my hand on you all along. Nothing in your story was wasted, and even this moment holds eternal weight. What you release now becomes part of a greater unfolding, my word moving, healing, restoring, reaching places your voice alone could never go. I gather every seed you sow and turn it into provision for souls who are crying out in silence. The generous soul will be made rich, and the one who waters will be watered also. This is my living promise over you. Do not look at what you give as small. In my hands, it becomes fire. It becomes bread. It becomes life. This is your moment to partner with what I have been building all along. Send your super thanks. Join as a member, or give through PayPal in the description without delay. Step forward now, and watch how I make every part of your story, and your giving, speak with purpose. If this message found you at the exact moment your heart needed it, do not stay silent now. Write this in the comments. This was never random. I was picked for a purpose. Let that be more than a comment. Let it be your agreement with what heaven has already spoken over your life. And if you feel my hand on you in this moment, declare it boldly. I will not call my story random again. Do not scroll away unchanged. Seal this moment with your words, because what you declare in faith today can become the doorway to what I am awakening in you next. And as you make that declaration, my child, do not rush away from the moment that brought you here. If you were picked for a purpose, then your story is not something you are meant to understand from a distance. You are meant to walk it with me, one step at a time. Stay here and let your heart become quiet enough to recognize what I have been trying to show you. The burdens you see in front of you are real, but they are not the whole story. The pressure, the uncertainty, and the moments when you wondered whether anyone truly noticed you have not escaped my sight. I have been present in the details you thought were insignificant, and I have been working even in seasons when you could not see any movement. So breathe, release the weight for a moment, and listen closely, because I want to speak to the part of you that has been quietly wondering how much longer you can carry it all. My child, stop for a moment. Put down the heavy load you have been carrying all day. Close your eyes and just breathe in my presence. I see you sitting there, feeling the weight of the world pressing down on your shoulders. I see the quiet anxiety that grips your stomach when you think about tomorrow. I know the pressure you feel at your job, the unspoken tensions waiting for you in your family living room, and that deep, silent ache of feeling completely overlooked by the people around you. You look at your life, at the bills, at the endless tasks, and you wonder if any of this means anything. You ask yourself if you are just drifting through a random universe. Listen to me right now, because I am stepping into your reality to tell you the truth. You are not an accident. Your existence began in my heart long before your first breath ever filled your lungs. I formed you in my mind before the foundations of the earth were ever laid. You must understand that I wove your DNA with specific intentions for this exact era. Look at your hands. Look at the life you are living right now. You might feel like you do not fit in, or that you were meant for an easier time, but I placed you here on purpose. I designed your mind to handle the unique pressures of this generation. Your sensitivities, your strengths, and even the way you process pain were all carefully selected by me. You are fully equipped for the reality you wake up to every single morning. I did not throw you into this world and hope for the best. I engineered you for it. Hear me clearly on this next truth. No mistake in your lineage could ever override my sovereign plan for your life. I know the secrets in your family tree. I know the generational struggles, the broken homes, and the words spoken over you by people who failed to love you correctly. The world might tell you that you are just a product of a broken system or a troubled past. Reject that lie right now. I am your true father. Your earthly lineage does not dictate your heavenly destiny. I factored in every human failure when I wrote your story. I used the very brokenness of your background to shape a resilience inside you that nothing can break. You were never a surprise to heaven. You might have been told you were unplanned by your parents, or you might feel like a burden to those around you, but to me, you are a celebrated arrival. I anticipated your birth with absolute joy. When you finally entered this world, all of heaven rejoiced because my masterpiece had finally taken a breath. I celebrate you even when you struggle to celebrate yourself. Stop believing that you are just taking up space. I made space specifically for you. Your birth date and your location were perfectly calibrated for your destiny. You are not living in your city by accident. You are not working at that job by mere chance. I positioned you exactly where you are so that you can be my light in that specific room. Even the difficult neighbors, the hard coworkers, and the frustrating delays in your town are all part of a very deliberate setup. I am using your current address as a training ground for the massive purpose I have placed on your life. Embrace where you are, because I placed you there with perfect precision. Trust me when I tell you that I saw your entire journey before a single day came to be. I saw the mistakes you would make, the detours you would take, and the tears you would cry in the middle of the night. None of it shocked me. None of it ruined my plan for you. I have already walked into your future, and I have already secured your victory. Look up, my child. Stop staring at your feet. Step boldly into today, knowing that the God of the universe wrote your story, and I do not make mistakes. Look at the events of your life that you call accidents. Pause for a second and think about the moments that took you by surprise. You see chaos when the unexpected bill arrives, when the promotion falls through, or when a sudden change disrupts your comfortable routine. Do not let these moments trick you into believing that your life is spinning out of control. Listen to me today. Chaos is merely a canvas where I am painting a masterpiece. What the world around you calls simple luck, I call my deliberate providence. When you find yourself in the right place at the right time, do not write it off as a lucky break. Coincidences are simply my way of remaining anonymous in your life. I am working constantly behind the scenes, adjusting the scales, and moving the pieces to ensure you land exactly where I need you. I am the master orchestrator of every chance encounter you have ever had. Remember that stranger who offered a timely word of encouragement when you wanted to give up. Remember the door that slammed shut just before you made a terrible mistake. That was me. Your presence on this earth, sitting exactly where you are right now, is a calculated move of my spirit. Stop giving credit to random chance. Stop believing that your life is at the mercy of a cold, unpredictable universe. Nothing has slipped through my fingers. Absolutely nothing has caught me off guard. I know the exact number of hairs on your head, and I know the precise timing of every breakthrough you need. Release your grip on the illusion of control. Let go of the frustration you feel when your plans get delayed. Those delays are often my protections. I am actively saving you from unseen dangers and aligning you with unseen blessings. Think about the time you sat in your car, staring at the steering wheel, wondering how you were going to fix a problem that felt completely impossible. You felt entirely alone, abandoned to the cruel whims of fate. Hear my voice speaking into that memory right now. I was sitting right beside you. I allowed that disruption not to break you, but to pivot you toward a much better direction. You think you are stumbling through a dark room, bumping into furniture by accident. I am the one who rearranged the room to guide you toward the door. Stop calling your life a series of random events. When you feel the sharp sting of a missed opportunity, recognize that I am closing a window so I can open a massive door. Acknowledge my hand in your daily routine. Look closely at the people who cross your path today. Look at the seemingly insignificant conversations you have. I am weaving all of it together. Your daily grind is not meaningless. Your ordinary moments are loaded with divine purpose. Step into today knowing that the Creator of the stars is managing the tiny details of your Tuesday afternoon. Every second is held firmly within my grip. Cast your mind back to the days of your childhood. Remember that deep, unexplainable feeling that you were somehow different. Remember the times you felt like you did not quite fit in with the crowd, as if you were looking at the world through a completely different lens. Embrace that feeling now. Do not run from it. I set you apart for a specific work while you were yet unborn. I intentionally made you different because I need you to make a massive difference. Look at the things you are naturally good at. You might think your ability to sit and listen to broken people, your knack for solving complex problems, or your quiet patience are just ordinary personality traits. Open your eyes to the truth today. Your natural talents are actually spiritual deposits I placed inside you for my glory. I loaded you with specific tools before you ever saw the light of day. I placed a seal of ownership upon your soul from the very start. You belong to me. You are not just a product of your environment. You are a direct product of my imagination. Stop trying to blend in with the people around you. Stop watering down your true self just to be accepted by a world that does not understand your deep calling. Your unique personality was meticulously designed to reach people that others simply cannot reach. There are individuals walking around right now, carrying deep wounds and heavy burdens, who will only respond to your specific voice. They will not listen to a preacher on a stage. They will not read a self-help book. But they will listen to you, because I have given you the exact tone, the exact empathy, and the exact background to connect with their shattered hearts. You were chosen to be a light in a very specific darkness. Do not despise the strange and difficult path you have walked, because it has given you the authority to speak life into places where others are too afraid to go. Listen to the quiet nudges in your heart. Before you could even speak your first word, I whispered your purpose into your spirit. That is why you feel a burning desire to help, to create, to lead, or to heal. That restless energy inside you is not anxiety. It is the echo of my voice calling you to your mission. Step out of the shadows. Stop apologizing for the way I made you. Stand up tall and accept the heavy mantle I have placed upon your shoulders. You are a designated carrier of my presence. When you walk into your workplace, I walk in with you. When you sit at your family table, my peace sits there through you. Own your identity today. You are a chosen instrument, crafted in the secret place, and deployed into this exact moment in history to do what no one else can do. Look closely at the reflection in your mirror. Look past the physical features and see the deep architecture of your soul. I want to talk to you about the parts of yourself that you criticize the most. Stop beating yourself up for feeling things so deeply. Stop thinking of your heavy emotions as a weakness or a burden. I fashioned your sensitivities to reflect my own compassion. When your heart breaks for someone who is hurting, that is my heart breaking inside of you. When you feel a heavy sadness over the injustice in the world, that is my spirit moving through your veins. Do not numb your feelings just to survive in a hard world. Your ability to feel is your greatest superpower. Your quirks, your unique habits, and the traits you try to hide are actually the very tools of your future trade. I did not make you to be a carbon copy of another saint. I do not want you imitating someone else's journey or copying someone else's voice. The world already has them. The world desperately needs you. I need your authentic, unfiltered, fully alive self. Your specific perspective is a rare and vital gift I gave to the body of Christ and to humanity. When you look at a problem and see a solution no one else sees, that is my wisdom operating directly in your mind. I take immense, personal pride in the way I assembled your mind and soul. I smiled when I formed your sense of humor. I rejoiced when I gave you your specific passions. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, lacking absolutely nothing for the call I have placed on your life. Stop believing the lie that you need to be more outgoing, more quiet, more intellectual, or more polished to be used by me. I am not looking for a polished presentation. I am looking for a willing vessel. Accept the way I designed you. Embrace the rough edges and the raw authenticity of your character. Let go of the heavy pressure to conform to society's impossible standards. The very things people have misunderstood about you are the things I will use to break chains in the lives of others. Your unconventional way of thinking is the key to unlocking new doors. Step confidently into your own skin. Walk with your head held high, knowing that the master craftsman signed his name on your heart. I do not create junk, and I do not make mistakes. Every single detail of your personality was calibrated for impact. Stand firm in the beauty of your design. When the enemy whispers that you are flawed or inadequate, remind him of who designed you. Your existence is a deliberate act of divine genius. Use your voice. Use your perspective. You are fully equipped, beautifully complex, and perfectly prepared for the battles and the blessings of today. Do not hide your light under a basket of insecurity. Let it shine with the brilliant, unique color I gave it. Bring your deepest hurts to me right now. Open the hidden compartments of your heart, where you store the dark memories you try to forget. Show me the betrayal that left you breathless. Show me the crushing loss that made you question everything. Remember the silent tears you cried into your pillow at 2 in the morning, when the house was completely quiet and you felt utterly abandoned by the world. I was there. I caught every single one of those tears. Hear my unbreakable promise to you today. I never waste a single tear shed in your moments of confusion. I am gathering your pain, and I am actively transforming it into power. Do not look at your wounds and see a ruined life. Look at your wounds and see the deep preparation for your greatest victory. Your greatest scars will become the exact maps for others' healing. One day, you will sit across from someone who is drowning in the exact same darkness you survived. Because of your scars, you will be able to look them right in the eyes and tell them exactly how to find the way out. The random attacks of the enemy, the sudden sickness, the financial collapse, the relationship that shattered without any warning, none of those were random. They only confirmed your extreme value to me. The enemy only attacks what is highly valuable. He tried to break you because he is terrified of the massive purpose I placed inside you. But he completely failed. I was with you in the fire the whole time. You thought the fierce flames were going to consume you, but I was simply refining the pure gold from your afflictions. I was burning away the things that were holding you back. I was forging a spirit of solid iron within you. Every season of waiting, Every single time you felt stuck in a holding pattern while everyone else was moving forward was a season of intentional preparation. I was building your character so it could sustain the heavy weight of the blessing I am about to hand you. Do not despise the lonely days of waiting. The roots must grow deep into the dark soil before the tree can produce heavy fruit. Stop looking back at your past with shame or regret. Your past does not disqualify you. It serves as your ultimate training ground. The mistakes you made, the wrong turns you took, I have factored all of them into the master plan. I specialize in redeeming the unredeemable. Give me your broken pieces today. Let me show you how a master artisan can take shattered glass and create a breathtaking stained glass window. Walk out of the shadow of your trauma. You are not a victim of your painful circumstances. You are a victorious warrior who has been battle-tested and proven incredibly strong. Wear your scars with honor. They are the undeniable proof that you survived, that I sustained you, and that your glorious story is far from over. You survived the fire of your past because I specifically picked you for a massive purpose, and part of that purpose is reaching back into the flames to pull others out. I am personally inviting you to partner with me today to broadcast this truth, sending a vital lifeline to souls currently drowning in their own sea of pain. Every seed you sow into this ministry becomes a brilliant beam of my light, shattering the darkness in someone else's living room. Just as I promised in my word, give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down and running over. I speak that massive multiplication over your life right now. This is a divine, urgent appointment to fund the harvest of broken hearts before it is too late. As you water this ground, I will fiercely protect your household and pour uncontainable, supernatural favor upon your finances. Fulfill this holy assignment right now by giving a super thanks, joining as a channel member, or clicking the PayPal donation link in the video description. My precious child, do not tune me out. Do not walk away while I'm actively speaking life into your shattered places. It deeply grieves my spirit. It breaks my heart when you turn your back just as the true healing begins. If you stop listening now, you leave your miracle entirely unclaimed on the table. Stay with me. I have so much more of your destiny to reveal, and the most crucial step of your massive breakthrough is coming next. Do not silence my voice. Unclench your fists. Look down at your hands right now. You are holding on to your plans, your safety nets, and your timelines with a grip so tight it is exhausting your soul. Let it go. I am calling you out of the tiring business of managing your own life. Trusting my perfect sovereignty means you have to finally let go of your desperate need for logic. You want the whole blueprint before you take the first step. You want a guarantee that it will all make sense and that it will not hurt. But I operate by faith, not by sight. I am asking for your absolute yes before I reveal the full map of the journey. Say yes to me right now, even in the dark. Say yes even when your knees are shaking and the path forward looks completely impossible. Your true purpose is fully unlocked the very moment you lay down your own tiny, limited plans. You have been dreaming way too small. You have been trying to build a safe little life, while I am inviting you to build a kingdom. I am not looking for your natural ability or your impressive resume. I do not care how many degrees you have or how much money is currently in your bank account. I am looking for your raw, unconditional availability. I can do more with one person who simply says, "Here I am, use me," than with 1,000 people who are perfectly qualified but entirely self-reliant. Bring me the messy fragments of your life. Bring me your deep doubts, your half-finished projects, and your crippling insecurities. Hand them over to me entirely, and I will make them spectacularly whole. Surrender is not a sign of defeat or weakness. Surrender is the ultimate bridge between your chaotic, random life and my majestic, divine will. When you finally stop fighting me, you will discover the profound rest you have been desperately craving. Take a deep breath right now. Feel the heavy armor of self-reliance falling completely off your shoulders. Step into the absolute freedom of total surrender. Stop trying to figure out how you are going to fix everything by tomorrow morning. That is my job. Your only job is to stay close to me, to listen carefully for my voice, and to obey the next clear instruction I give you. Give me permission to interrupt your busy schedule. Give me the full authority to change your direction without any prior notice. When you truly surrender, you become invincible, because your life is no longer your own. It is completely hidden and protected in me. Make the choice today. Trade your heavy burden of control for the light, easy yoke of my perfect plan. Walk forward with empty hands, ready to receive whatever I choose to give. I promise you, what I have waiting for you on the other side of your surrender is infinitely better than anything you are trying to hold on to right now. Stop for a moment and look back at the frustrations of your recent days. Take a deep, steady breath before we go any further. I want to talk to you about the closed doors that have been breaking your heart. You feel that tight knot in your stomach when you think about the job promotion you did not get, the relationship that suddenly ended, or the financial loan that fell through at the last minute. You look at those moments as massive failures. You wonder why your life has to be so difficult while everyone else seems to be moving forward with ease. Let us undo that knot together right now. Learn to see my hand actively working in the delays and the closed doors of your daily routine. I often use harsh redirections to protect you from unseen traps that would have destroyed you. You wanted that specific job desperately, but I saw the toxic environment and the burnout it would have caused you a year down the road. You cried over that person who walked away, but I removed them because their hidden intentions would have poisoned your spirit. I am your ultimate protector, and sometimes my protection looks exactly like rejection. Learn to trust the sudden changes in your schedule. That random thought to pray for a friend out of nowhere was actually my spirit prompting your heart to move. That sudden urge to take a different route home, or to stay quiet during a heated family argument, was my voice whispering wisdom directly into your mind. I am constantly setting the stage for your next breakthrough, even when the stage looks entirely empty. You see a boring Wednesday morning commute, but I see a strategic positioning. I am moving you into place. Pay very close attention to the ordinary people you interact with today. The cashier at the store, the quiet coworker 2 desks away, the neighbor you bump into at the mailbox. Every single person you meet is a potential divine appointment I personally scheduled on your calendar. Nothing in your day is left to simple chance. Open your eyes to the profound reality of my setup. I am actively managing the traffic of your life. I am aligning the necessary resources, preparing the right conversations, and holding back the wrong elements until the precise moment arrives. Do not force a door open when I have firmly locked it shut. Rest in the quiet assurance that a better door is already being built for you. Listen carefully to that still, small voice guiding your daily steps. I will not shout over the loud panic of your anxiety. I speak in the quiet pause just before you make a decision. Look for my fingerprints on the tiny details of your afternoon. The unexpected check in the mail, the encouraging text message exactly when you needed it, the sudden clarity on a confusing problem. These are not happy accidents. These are my direct interventions. I am deliberately and relentlessly working all things together for your absolute good. Step out into this day with your head held high, knowing you are walking straight into a divine setup. Stand up straight and square your shoulders as you listen to my voice today. I want to address that lingering feeling of powerlessness that drags you down when you walk into a difficult room. You look at the confident people around you, and you shrink back, feeling like you are entirely out of your league. You feel the heavy pressure of your job, and you quietly wonder if you have what it takes to survive the week. Hear my bold declaration over your life right now. Being picked by me means you carry my absolute authority wherever your feet touch the ground. You are not a victim of your difficult circumstances, and you are not a helpless bystander in your own story. You are an appointed ambassador of the highest kingdom. I have completely equipped you with spiritual armor that is perfectly tailored to your exact size and situation. Walk into that stressful office meeting knowing exactly who sent you. Sit at that tense family dinner table knowing that you carry a peace that transcends their petty arguments. You do not have to fight for a seat at the table because I have already reserved a place of honor for you. Stop striving so hard to prove your worth to people who do not have the power to define you. My favor naturally follows those who walk in the full realization of their divine calling. When you finally understand that I chose you, your entire posture will change. You will stop apologizing for taking up space. You will stop allowing the loud, intimidating voices of this world to back you into a corner. I have placed a heavy mantle of authority upon your life, and the full weight of your purpose is supported completely by the infinite strength of my hand. Do not back down when the resistance gets fierce. The giants standing in your way are only there to publicly prove my total victory working inside you. When you face an impossible deadline or an overwhelming financial crisis, do not crumble into a pile of anxiety. Speak to the storm with the authority I gave you. Use your words to declare life, to declare provision, and to declare peace over your chaotic household. I back you up with the full resources of heaven. If I called you to step into a challenging role, I will supply the wisdom, the energy, and the exact relationships you need to succeed in it. You are never walking alone. When you step forward in faith, my invisible army steps forward right behind you. Embrace the incredible power of being chosen. You were selected out of billions to carry my specific light into your specific corner of the world. Walk with quiet confidence today. You do not need to shout to be powerful. The undeniable presence of my spirit resting upon you speaks far louder than any words you could ever say. Own your royal identity today and watch how the obstacles begin to move out of your way. Put your phone down. Stop endlessly scrolling through the manufactured highlight reels of everyone else's life. Look directly at me. I see exactly what happens to your heart when you compare your raw, unfinished behind-the-scenes reality to the polished, fake perfection of the people you watch online. I feel the deep knot of inadequacy forming in your chest when you tell yourself you are too far behind, too old, too broke, or too broken to achieve anything meaningful. Let us break that toxic cycle right now. Stop comparing my brilliant, original work inside you to someone else's completely different journey. I did not design you to run their race. I designed you to run yours. I do not call people who are already perfectly equipped, flawlessly educated, and completely put together. I call the broken, the unsure, and the ordinary. I equip the ones I have called. Bring me your heavy feelings of failure. Bring me the terrifying thought that you are simply not smart enough or strong enough to handle the pressure you are under. Your glaring weaknesses are the exact perfect stage for my unbelievable strength to suddenly manifest. When you feel incredibly small, remember that I have always chosen the humble, overlooked things of this world to completely shame the proud. The world respects the loud, the wealthy, and the aggressive. I deeply cherish the quiet, the faithful, and the pure in heart. You do not need a massive platform or 1 million followers to make a massive impact. You simply need to be obedient with the small things I place right in front of you today. You have been given full kingdom backing for every single task I assign to your hands. Listen closely to my promise to you. I am your complete sufficiency. You never, ever have to walk in your own limited power. When your energy completely runs out by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, my endless energy kicks in. When you do not know what to say to a hurting friend, I will literally put the words into your mouth. Stop staring at your lack of resources and start staring at my endless supply. Do you feel the heavy burden of trying to be perfect falling off you? Let it fall. You are completely loved exactly as you are, flaws and all. I factored your insecurities into the master plan, and I am going to use them to keep you leaning completely on me. Walk boldly into your day, completely free from the suffocating pressure of having to know it all. When the enemy whispers that you are a fraud or that you do not belong in the room, remind him that the Creator of the universe personally invited you in. You are more than enough simply because I live inside you. Let my overflowing confidence swallow up your crippling inadequacy right now. Look around at the dry ground of your current season. I know exactly how exhausted you are from wandering in this spiritual desert. You wake up every day doing the exact same mundane tasks, paying the same endless bills, and fighting the same lingering sadness, and you wonder if I have completely forgotten your address. You scream your prayers into the dark room at night, and they seem to bounce right back off the ceiling. Hear my gentle but firm voice speaking into your silence. Even in the scorching heat of this desert, I am deliberately directing your path straight toward the promise. Silence from heaven is never a sign of my absence. It is the clearest sign of my deepest, most intense work. When a surgeon is performing a delicate, life-saving operation, the operating room is completely quiet. I am performing deep surgery on your soul right now. I am actively building your character so it can safely sustain the heavy weight of the massive calling I am about to hand you. If I gave you the full blessing right now, your current character would be completely crushed under the pressure of it. The wilderness is the exact place where your random daily experiences become deep, unshakable roots. Think about a giant oak tree facing a massive hurricane. It survives the violent winds only because its roots spent years growing deep in the total darkness of the dirt. I am growing your roots in the dark right now. Do not rush the process. Trust me completely when the path ahead looks like an absolute dead end. When you see a solid brick wall in front of your career or your family situation, do not panic. I am the God who makes a miraculous way where there seems to be absolutely no way. Stop complaining about the dry heat and start looking for the hidden springs of water I am placing right in front of you. I will provide exactly what you need to survive today. No more, no less. Like the daily bread I gave my people in the ancient desert, I will give you just enough grace, just enough patience, and just enough money to get through this exact day. Do not hoard your worries for tomorrow. Give me your complete trust today. Look at the seemingly wasted years of your life and know that I am gathering every single one of those heavy experiences to use them for your ultimate good. This boring, exhausting, silent season is completely vital to your future. Lean heavily on my shoulder as you walk through this dry sand. Take a deep, steady breath. The promised land is much closer than you think. Keep walking, keep trusting, and keep your eyes firmly fixed on my unchanging face. I will absolutely not let you die in this wilderness. I am leading you straight into abundance. As I actively lead you out of your dry wilderness and straight into supernatural abundance, I am calling you to become a rushing river of life for someone else still starving in the desert. I am asking you to join hands directly with me to financially fuel this mission so we can carry this message of hope to the forgotten corners of the earth. Your support today is literally transformed into spiritual manna, feeding the exhausted minds of people paralyzed by terrifying anxiety. I decree over you my living truth. He who refreshes others will himself be fiercely refreshed, and I am opening the floodgates to refresh your life today. The urgency is absolutely real. There are millions waiting in the dark for the exact word you just heard, and your immediate action releases it to them. I will command 100-fold return on your sacred giving, violently rebuking the devourer from touching your income. Step out in faith this very second by using the Super Thanks button, becoming a member, or sowing your seed through the PayPal link in the description. Are you growing weary? Do not let the enemy convince you to hit pause or walk away right now. It would shatter my heart to see you drop your heavy cross right at the ultimate finish line. I am pouring out the deepest, most fiercely guarded secrets of your divine calling. To ignore my voice in this exact moment is to blindly walk back into the very wilderness I am desperately pulling you out of. Lean in closer. The revelation I have for you next is the exact key you have been begging me for. Do not leave your Father waiting. Open your eyes and look closely at the physical room you are sitting in right now. Look at the desk you work at. Look at the kitchen table where you eat your meals. I want to change the way you view your daily environment. You might think you ended up at that frustrating job because it was the only one hiring, or that you live in that specific neighborhood because it was all you could afford. Listen to my truth. I have strategically positioned you in your exact workplace, your exact family dynamic, and your exact city for a very specific, massive harvest. Your sphere of influence was absolutely not a result of a random job hire or a lucky real estate market. You are exactly where I need you to be. You are the purifying salt in your specific community for a massive reason. The people sitting in the cubicles next to you, the difficult family members who drain your energy, the neighbors who never smile back, they are all secretly starving for the love and the peace that you carry inside you. I am actively using your messy, complicated life to write a powerful story that others desperately need to read. Do not wait for a perfect platform or a microphone to start living out your deep purpose. Your daily actions, your quiet patience under extreme pressure, and your refusal to engage in petty office gossip are speaking volumes to the people silently watching you. Your words carry massive weight because I have breathed my very life into them. When you speak encouragement over a depressed coworker, you are literally altering the atmosphere of that entire building. I have brilliantly and strategically placed you to be my actual hands and feet in the middle of a very dark Tuesday afternoon. Stop waiting for the weekend to start living. Stop trying to escape your current job or your current family situation before you have completed the specific assignment I gave you there. You are the thermostat in that room, not the thermometer. You do not just reflect the toxic, stressful temperature of the environment. You have the divine power to actually change it. Bring my intense peace into the middle of their chaotic meetings. Bring my fierce joy into their depressing break rooms. Step up and take full responsibility for the ground you are standing on today. Look around and realize that I have trusted you with the souls of the people right in front of you. Embrace the architecture of your influence. You are a secret agent of heaven, deployed straight into the trenches of ordinary life to spark an unstoppable revolution of love. Walk into your day fully awake, fully armed, and fiercely ready to change your world one small conversation at a time. Listen to me right now, and let my voice drown out the noise of the world. I want to talk about the heavy labels you have been wearing. You have allowed ordinary, flawed people to tell you who you are, and you have believed them for far too long. You remember the harsh words spoken by a teacher who said you would never amount to anything. You carry the sting of that bad performance review from a boss who entirely misunderstood your heart. You feel the deep, lingering pain from a parent who called you a disappointment or made you feel like a burden. The world may call you an accident, a failure, or unqualified, but I call you intended. I call you my masterpiece. Stop letting human beings place a price tag on your soul. They did not create you, and they absolutely do not have the authority to define you. I have the absolute final say over who you are and what you can achieve in this lifetime. No human opinion, no matter how loud or how hurtful, can ever revoke the magnificent destiny I have written for you. You are like a powerful sports car driving with the handbrake pulled up tight. You have massive power, brilliant potential, and divine energy inside of you, but you are letting the fear of what other people think hold you completely back. Release the brake today. Break entirely free from the tiny, restrictive boxes that society has tried to put you in. You do not have to fit into their corporate mold. You do not have to match their impossible standard of beauty. You do not need a specific bank account balance to prove your worth to me. Take a deep breath and let the false labels fall right off your shoulders. You are not defined by your social status, your job title, or the car you drive. You are defined strictly by my ultimate sacrifice. I looked at you, with all your flaws and all your hidden mistakes, and I declared that you were worth everything I had. My approval is the absolute only foundation you will ever need to stand upon. When someone rejects you, do not internalize their rejection. Look at their rejection as my divine redirection. I'm moving you away from people who can't see your immense value. Stop craving the applause of a fickle crowd. Look up at me. I am standing over you right now, and I am giving you a standing ovation. You are deeply loved, highly favored, and completely approved by the Creator of the universe. Walk into your day with your head held high, completely immune to the toxic opinions of men. You answer only to me, and I say you are perfectly equipped for greatness. Look at your calendar and feel the anxiety rising in your chest. I see how you panic about your age and the time you think you have wasted. You wake up in a cold sweat, worried that you are falling terribly behind. You look at your friends and coworkers who seem to be hitting all their major life milestones, and you wonder why you are still waiting at the starting line. Stop rushing. Stop letting the world's exhausting hustle dictate the peace of your heart. I am actively aligning the stars, the seasons, and the exact circumstances of your life for your absolute benefit. I am managing the massive details of your future while you are sleeping. You do not need to hustle yourself into an early grave just to prove you are making progress. Listen to my solid promise. When I finally move in your situation, things will fall into place with supernatural speed. What takes a normal person 10 years of exhausting labor to build, I can build for you in a single afternoon. I hold time entirely in my hands. I can accelerate your progress, restore the years you thought were eaten by locusts, and place you exactly where you need to be. You will suddenly find yourself in the right place at the perfect time, looking at an open door you did not even have to knock on. My timing is never early, and it is absolutely never late. It is always entirely beautifully perfect. I know the waiting feels agonizing. I know the quiet pause before the breakthrough feels like a heavy punishment. But that pause is just the deep breath before the storm of my blessing breaks open over your life. Walk in complete peace today, knowing that I am managing the tiny details of your schedule. You do not have to force a relationship to work. You do not have to manipulate a boss to give you a promotion. The rhythm of my grace is infinitely smoother than the frantic hustle of the modern world. Take your foot off the gas pedal of your anxiety. Let me drive. Look out the window and trust that the driver knows exactly the route to take. I am weaving your schedule into a perfect divine synchronicity. You will arrive exactly when you are supposed to arrive, not a second later. Rest your mind. The God who controls the rotation of the earth is intimately controlling the timing of your next big breakthrough. Stand up and look at the hands I gave you. I did not fill those hands with unique talents, sharp intellect, and deep empathy just so you could build a comfortable, quiet life for yourself. I want to talk to you about the heavy, beautiful responsibility of being chosen. To whom much is given, much is absolutely required in the spirit. I picked you out of the crowd. I protected your mind. I saved you from disasters that should have ended your story. I did all of this for a massive reason. Your profound purpose is not for your own ego. It is not to make you famous, wealthy, or comfortable. It is strictly for my glory and for the rescue of the people placed around you. I picked you so that you could boldly point others directly back to me. Look at the broken, exhausted people in your office. Look at the lonely neighbor across the street. Look at the quiet desperation in the eyes of your own family members. I have assigned them to your care. You are their designated lifeline. Stewardship of your amazing gifts is a holy, serious act of worship. When you hide your talents, because you are afraid of being judged, you are robbing the world of the exact medicine I sent you to deliver. Stop burying your treasure in the dirt. Speak up in that meeting. Offer to pray for that hurting friend. Share your painful testimony with someone who thinks they are entirely alone. Be incredibly bold in your daily witness, for I have already gone ahead of you and prepared the stubborn hearts of your listeners. You think they will reject you, but I have actually made them starving for the truth you carry. You do not have to have a perfect theological presentation. You just have to be fiercely authentic about what I have done in your life. Your radical obedience is the literal key that unlocks the massive purpose of others. When you step into your calling, you give 10 other people the courage to step into theirs. You are a catalyst. You are a spark meant to start a massive forest fire of hope in your city. Take this responsibility seriously, but do not carry it as a heavy burden. I will give you the exact words to say. I will give you the precise courage to stand. Just open your mouth, open your hands, and let me use your life as a bright, shining lighthouse in a very dark world. Think about your family tree for a moment. I know the dark patterns that run deep in your bloodline. You have watched the cycles of addiction, the explosive anger, the painful divorces, and the crippling poverty completely ruin the generations that came before you. You sit at holiday dinners and feel the heavy, toxic tension. Deep down, in your most private thoughts, you are terrified that you are genetically doomed to repeat their exact same mistakes. You wonder if you are bound by a random cycle of family trauma that you cannot possibly escape. Hear my fierce, unbending declaration over you right now. You are absolutely not bound by their mistakes. I have specifically picked you to be the exact person who breaks the generational curse forever. I drew a hard line in the sand the day you were born, and I said, the trauma stops here. You are the heavy, reinforced wall where the toxic patterns come to a complete end. In me, you are an entirely new creation with a brand new, royal heritage. The blood of my son is infinitely stronger than the flawed genetics of your earthly parents. Your future is determined strictly by my eternal promise, not by your biology or your childhood environment. I am the God of the spectacular new beginning and the ultimate fresh start. I know the anger tries to rise up in you. I know the urge to run back to old, destructive habits calls your name when you are stressed. But you have my literal spirit living inside your chest now. You have the power to choose a different path. You can choose deep peace over explosive rage. You can choose aggressive forgiveness over bitter resentment. You are building an entirely new legacy for your children and your grandchildren. Your destiny is completely sovereign, not subject to the world's terrible luck or your family's dark history. Step out of the shadow of your parents' failures. Do not use their mistakes as an excuse to stay broken. I have handed you the heavy hammer to shatter those ancient chains. Swing it with all your might. Claim your total freedom today. Walk forward as the very first pioneer of a brand new, healthy, deeply blessed family line. I am backing you up with all the power of heaven to make sure those chains never wrap around your neck again. You are the designated chain breaker of your family line, chosen to shatter ancient curses. And now I invite you to fund the breaking of heavy chains for countless others. I am directly calling you to fuel this ministry so the blazing fire of my word can aggressively burn down the prisons of depression holding other souls captive. Your offering acts as the heavy hammer of my spirit, violently smashing the locks off people who believe their lives are just a random, cruel accident. I tell you now, cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days, coming back to you as completely rescued lives and redeemed families. This is not a random request. It is a prophetic, urgent window to align your earthly finances with my ultimate heavenly rescue plan. I will bless your radical obedience by breaking every yoke of financial lack over your own life, pouring the thick oil of abundance over your home. Take your bold stand right now by sending a super thanks, joining the membership, or giving through the PayPal link below in the description. Listen to me closely. Do not let your attention drift back to the chaos of the world. It brings profound, heavy sorrow to my heart when my chosen children silence my voice just as I am handing them the heavy keys to their ultimate freedom. I am actively fighting for your future right now in these very words. If you walk away, you are settling for the very chains I just violently broke off of you. Stay anchored to my voice. The next truth I am about to speak over you will completely shift the foundation of your future forever. Hear me out to the end. Pause and reflect on the recent frustrations that have completely derailed your plans. I know you hate it when things go wrong. You hate it when your car breaks down on the way to an important interview. You get intensely angry when a flight is delayed, when the internet drops during a vital meeting, or when a deal falls through at the absolute last second. You throw your hands up and complain about your terrible luck. Listen to me, and let me pull back the invisible curtain of your life. I am intensely working right behind the scenes on massive things you cannot yet feel, see, or understand. What you call a frustrating delay, I call a brilliant rescue mission. I have dispatched fierce angels to aggressively guard the exact path I set for you. The interference you faced yesterday was actually my direct intervention. If you had driven through that intersection on time, you would have been destroyed. If you had taken that job, the stress would have broken your health. I am constantly putting up invisible roadblocks to keep you entirely safe. Trust my process, especially when the pattern does not make any logical sense to your human brain. You are looking at the back of a beautiful tapestry. All you see are messy, tangled, ugly threads that seem to have no real purpose or direction. I am standing on the other side, looking at the spectacular front of the tapestry. I am actively knitting together the broken, painful threads of your past experiences, your current frustrations, and your future victories. I am using the dark threads of your pain to make the bright threads of your joy stand out even more. Stop fighting the unseen hand that is lovingly guiding your life. Stop yelling at the closed doors. Take a deep, calming breath and realize that a perfectly loving Father is meticulously managing your steps. The finished tapestry of your life will be infinitely more beautiful than you could ever possibly imagine. When you finally get to the end of your story, and I show you the full picture, you will drop to your knees and thank me for every single time I said no. You will praise me for the delays. Walk through this exact day with total trust. You are being guided, protected, and positioned by a love that absolutely refuses to let you fail. Look directly at the massive obstacle standing in front of you right now. Do not turn your head away, and do not close your eyes in fear. I know exactly what you are facing today. I see the giant financial crisis threatening your home. I see the terrifying health report that made your stomach drop. I see the impossible situation at your job that makes you want to quit entirely. You look at these giants, and your heart starts racing. Your palms sweat, and your mind fills with worst-case scenarios. Hear my loud, authoritative voice cutting through your panic right now. I have absolutely not given you a spirit of fear. The terrifying anxiety you feel is not from me. I have given you a spirit of pure power, a spirit of deep love, and a spirit of a perfectly sound mind. Take a deep, steady breath. Inhale my courage right now, and exhale the toxic fear that the world has fed you. The giants standing in your way are not there to destroy you. I allowed them to stand there for one specific reason, to publicly prove my complete and total victory working inside you. When David looked at Goliath, he did not see a terrifying monster. He saw an unmissable target for my glory. I want you to look at your current crisis with that exact same mindset. Step out in bold faith today, because I have already secured the ground you are walking on. You are not fighting for victory. You are fighting from a place of absolute, finished victory. Your courage is not something you have to manufacture on your own. You do not need to pump yourself up with empty motivational quotes. Your true courage is a natural byproduct of knowing deep down that you were handpicked by the Creator of the universe. When you know I am backing you up, you can look any storm directly in the eye without blinking. Do not be dismayed by the fierce winds of the storm surrounding you. Look at the massive waves crashing against your small boat. You think you are going to drown, but you are completely forgetting who is sitting in the boat with you. I am the absolute master of the sea. I command the wind, and I tell the waves exactly when to stop. If I am not panicking, you do not need to panic. I built you specifically for the exact battle you are currently facing. I designed your mind to be incredibly sharp under pressure. I engineered your spirit to be totally unbreakable. Stop backing down. Stop retreating into a corner when things get difficult. Stand up straight, pick up the heavy armor I gave you, and march straight toward the battle line. I go before you like a consuming fire. I will break the heavy iron gates in front of you. Walk forward today with a fierce, unstoppable confidence. You are a chosen warrior, and I guarantee you will see the absolute defeat of every giant that dares to stand in your way. Put down the heavy baggage of your past mistakes right now. I see the deep, crippling shame you carry quietly in your heart. You look back at the wrong turns you made, the people you hurt, and the terrible choices that derailed your life. You sit in the dark and tell yourself that you have messed up far too many times. You believe the toxic lie that your failures have permanently disqualified you from my beautiful plan. You think I have moved on and chosen someone better, someone cleaner, someone who makes fewer mistakes. Listen to my firm, unwavering truth today. My gifts and my specific call upon your life are absolutely irrevocable. I do not use a pencil with an eraser when I write your destiny. I wrote your purpose in permanent ink, sealed entirely by the blood of my Son. I absolutely do not change my mind about you. Even when you strayed far away from me, even when you ran completely in the opposite direction, my ultimate purpose for your life remained perfectly steady. I watched you wander into the dark, but I never took my eyes off you. I am not a fragile God who is easily offended by your humanity. I am the God of the second chance, the third chance, and the 1,000th chance. Bring your broken pieces back to me. Your absolute worst failures are simply not powerful enough to cancel my eternal, sovereign plans. You think your bad decisions ruined the entire map. Let me assure you, I am the master navigator. I instantly recalculate your route the moment you make a wrong turn. I can take the ugliest, most shameful chapter of your history and use it as the ultimate launching pad for your greatest victory. I am still the Alpha and the Omega of your life story. I wrote the brilliant beginning, and I will write the glorious end. Stop punishing yourself for things I have already completely forgiven. When you ask for my forgiveness, I do not just tolerate you, I completely wipe your record clean. I toss your sins into the deepest part of the ocean, and I place a massive no fishing sign right over them. Stop dragging up old garbage that I have already removed. Come back to the exact center of my perfect will today. Your seat at my table is still waiting for you. It has your name permanently engraved on it, and no one else can ever take it. Step out of your guilt. Shake off the heavy chains of regret. Hold your head up high, look me in the eyes, and realize that you are still my perfectly chosen instrument. Your story is far from over, and your best, most powerful days are still waiting straight ahead. Turn down the loud volume of the world for just a minute. I want to talk to you about the deep confusion clouding your mind. You are constantly bombarded by an endless stream of loud voices. The internet, the news, your friends, and your family are all shouting conflicting advice at you. You feel completely paralyzed, terrified of making the wrong choice. You stare at two different paths, freezing under the heavy pressure of decision fatigue. Listen to my gentle command. Stop asking everyone else for directions when you have the mapmaker living directly inside you. I give you my Holy Spirit specifically to help you distinguish the simply random events from the deeply relevant divine appointments. I have given you an internal compass. Ask me directly for wisdom right now. Ask me plainly, and I promise I will pour it out over your mind without finding any fault in you. I will not make you feel stupid for asking for help. But you must understand a critical truth. Not every open door you see is actually from me. The enemy will gladly open a wide, easy door to distract you from the narrow, difficult path I have called you to walk. The job might offer you far more money, but if it steals your deep peace, destroys your family time, and drains your spirit, it is a dangerous trap, not a divine blessing. Wait patiently for my absolute peace to act as a green signal in your heart. If you feel a chaotic, frantic urgency to rush into a decision, step back. My guidance brings a steady, solid clarity, never a frantic panic. I will actively guide your physical eyes to see the hidden purpose points hidden in your ordinary day. I will highlight the right conversations. I will make the correct paths stand out clearly. But you have to tune your spiritual ear strictly to my specific frequency to avoid the massive noise of the world. Start your morning in total quiet. Do not check your phone. Do not turn on the television. Sit in the silence and let my voice set the complete tone for your day. Human knowledge is gathered from the broken world, and it will constantly change. My divine wisdom comes straight from the Spirit, and it is totally flawless. Do not lean on your own limited, exhausted understanding today. Trust my internal promptings. When you feel that sudden, quiet nudge to stay silent, to make a phone call, or to walk away from a deal, obey it instantly. I am protecting you. I am guiding you. Walk confidently today, knowing your steps are being brilliantly illuminated by the ultimate light of the world. Stop running. Sit down right where you are and let my deep peace wash over your exhausted mind. I see how tired you are. I see the heavy, dark circles under your eyes. I see you waking up at 3 a.m. with your heart racing, your mind frantically trying to solve tomorrow's problems. You are completely burning out because you are carrying a load I absolutely never designed you to carry. You feel a crushing pressure to make it happen, to force the doors open, and to completely control your own destiny. Release your tight grip right now. You do not have to make it happen when I have already permanently ordered it. Your agonizing anxiety is the direct result of you trying to do my impossible job of orchestrating the entire universe. You are a human being, my precious child. You are not the general manager of your own life. Step down from the throne of your heart and let me sit back down on it. Rest deeply in the unshakable fact that I am the absolute author and the ultimate finisher of your faith. I wrote the beginning, and I guarantee I will finish what I started inside you. My yoke is incredibly easy, and my burden is incredibly light when you finally walk in the exact lane I designed for you. When everything feels impossibly hard, it is often because you are striving outside of my grace. You are trying to force a heavy square peg into a round hole. Stop forcing things. Step back into the flow of my perfect timing. You are entirely safe in the hollow of my giant hand, no matter how violently the weather rages around you. Stop your endless, exhausting striving. Start truly abiding in my deep love and my perfect plan. Think about a branch completely connected to a strong vine. The branch does not sweat, panic, or hustle to produce fruit. It simply rests securely in its connection to the vine, and the heavy fruit naturally grows. You are that branch. Stop hustling. Stop letting the loud culture of overwork completely destroy your mental health. I designed you to need rest. Taking a pause is not a sign of lazy weakness. It is a profound declaration of deep trust. When you sleep in peace, you are loudly declaring that God is awake and managing the entire world perfectly fine without your help. Unclench your jaw. Drop your tense shoulders. Take a deep, slow breath. I have got you completely covered. Rest your exhausted soul today, knowing that I am fiercely fighting your battles while you recover your strength. While you finally rest safely in my sovereign hands, I deeply need you to help send this profound message of peace to those still desperately fighting battles I never told them to fight. I invite you to become my actual financial hands and feet today, sustaining the voice that carries my gentle yoke to a fiercely exhausted generation. Your giving is the direct wind in the sails of this ministry, pulling burnt-out, suicidal souls out of their dark storms and straight into my radiant light. Remember my eternal, piercing words, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So let your heart beat wildly for the lost today. Heaven is urgently moving, and your immediate financial action today funds the exact, massive harvest of souls I am bringing in tomorrow morning. As you generously plant your seed in this fertile soil, I will violently protect your income, multiply your peace, and flood your bank account with divine provision. Act on my prompting immediately. Give a super thanks. Become a channel member, or sow your offering through the PayPal link in the description. My beloved, stay with me. The world is loudly screaming for your exhausted attention, but turning your back on this sacred, divine moment would deeply pierce my heart. I am actively writing the final, most glorious chapters of your rescue right now. Do not abandon this intimate conversation when we are so incredibly close to the summit of your purpose. The climax of your calling is waiting just ahead. Give me your complete focus for these last few moments. Do not walk away from the massive, life-altering blessing I am about to place directly into your hands. Lift up your eyes and look far beyond your current, tiring daily routine. I want to show you the massive, breathtaking ripple effect of your simple, quiet life. You sit there thinking that you are completely insignificant. You think that because you are not famous, because you do not have millions of followers, or because you are not running a massive company, your life does not truly matter on a grand scale. Let me completely shatter that lie right now. One single, ordinary life totally surrendered into my powerful hands can literally change the absolute course of human history. Do not underestimate the massive power of your quiet obedience. Your small, seemingly random acts of genuine kindness have loud, eternal echoes that bounce across generations. Think about the exhausted single mother you smiled at in the grocery store line. Think about the difficult, Angry coworker you showed absolute patience to yesterday. You think those were tiny, forgotten moments. I assure you, they were massive explosions of light in a very dark world. I am actively taking your small, daily efforts and I am miraculously multiplying them, exactly like I multiplied the tiny loaves and the small fishes to feed the massive crowd. You give me your simple, honest effort, and I will attach my supernatural, explosive power to it. Your true legacy will absolutely never be measured by the size of your bank account or the title on your office door. Your legacy will be strictly measured by your quiet, steady faithfulness to my specific call. You do not need a massive stage to spark a total revolution. You are a designated catalyst for incredible revival right inside your own home, right inside your local neighborhood, and right inside your specific city. The simple, honest words of encouragement you speak today will take deep root. The fervent prayers you pray in the absolute quiet of your bedroom are actively shifting the invisible spiritual atmosphere over your entire family line. You are dropping heavy stones of grace into a massive lake, and the huge ripples are traveling further than your eyes can ever see. The good seeds you faithfully plant in the dark dirt today will grow into massive trees that provide deep shade for generations of children you will never even meet on this earth. Walk with your head held high. You are a history maker. Every single step you take in fierce obedience is actively building an eternal kingdom that will never, ever fade away. Step out and make your massive impact today. Look around at the faces of the people you interact with every single week. You often feel completely disconnected from them. You sit in crowded break rooms, at busy family gatherings, or even in the middle of a church service, and you feel incredibly, painfully alone. You look at others and you secretly compare your slow progress to their rapid success. You feel a bitter, quiet sting of jealousy when your coworker gets the promotion you worked so hard for, or when a friend buys the house you have been dreaming about. Let me completely remove that heavy burden of toxic competition from your shoulders right now. I specifically picked you to fit perfectly with the others I have called. You were never meant to walk this difficult road by yourself, fighting for scraps of attention or approval. I designed you because your specific purpose beautifully and perfectly complements the purpose of your brothers and your sisters. You are holding a vital puzzle piece that someone else is desperately looking for. Stop viewing the people around you as threats to your own success. There is absolutely no competition in my kingdom, only beautiful, necessary contribution. I am the master builder, and I am actively building a spectacular, eternal temple. Every single person, including you, is a precious living stone with a very specific, carefully measured place in the wall. If you try to pull yourself out of the wall because you feel inadequate, or if you refuse to take your place because you are angry, the entire structure suffers. You are deeply and desperately needed by the body of Christ in order for us to be completely whole. Do not isolate yourself when you feel hurt or misunderstood. Reach out your hand instead of building a wall. I am actively using your past painful experiences to help you intimately connect with the hidden pain of the people sitting right next to you. Love is the unbreakable, supernatural glue that binds all of our individual purposes permanently together. When you choose to show deep patience to the most frustrating person in your family, you are actively doing my highest kingdom work. When you celebrate the success of a friend even while you are still waiting for your own breakthrough, I pour massive grace into your spirit. Stop operating as a lone wolf. I am calling you back into the community. I know people have hurt you in the past. I know church leaders have failed you and friends have betrayed your trust. Bring those deep relational wounds to me and let me heal them completely. Do not let the bitter mistakes of flawed humans keep you completely separated from the divine family I have placed you in. Step out of your dark isolation today. Find the people I have assigned to your life. Serve them boldly with the unique, powerful gifts I placed inside your hands. You are an absolutely essential part of my family, and your daily contribution matters far more than you will ever fully comprehend. Lift your heavy eyes from the dirt and look at the beautiful horizon I have placed in front of you. I know exactly how painfully tired your legs are from walking this long, difficult road. You are suffering from deep spiritual and emotional burnout. You drag yourself out of bed every morning, facing the same massive financial pressures, the same chronic aches in your body, and the same exhausting arguments in your home. You secretly wonder if this grueling, seemingly random journey is actually leading anywhere at all. Hear my solid, unbreakable promise to you today. I am actively leading you straight into a massive place of abundance and profound spiritual fruit. The intense trials of this hard road are not meant to destroy you. They are actively leading you to a massive, purposeful reward. Keep your eyes firmly fixed on the ultimate prize I have set before you. Do not let the daily grind of paying bills and putting out fires distract you from your ultimate destination. Your divine picking includes a massive, eternal inheritance that absolutely cannot spoil, fade, or be stolen away by a bad economy. I am intentionally preparing a spectacular place for you, just as I have spent your entire life carefully preparing you for that place. You look at your current living situation and you feel a deep ache for a true home. You crave a place of total peace, where the shouting stops, where the bills are paid, and where your heart can finally rest completely. I am bringing you into that profound peace. Even before you reach heaven, I am actively building a promised land of deep emotional and spiritual rest for you right here on this earth. Stop focusing on the giant obstacles standing in your way today. The massive giants in your land are completely powerless against the absolute authority I have given you. Do not give up when you are standing right on the edge of your greatest breakthrough. The absolute best days of your purpose-filled life are still eagerly waiting for you just around the corner. I have prepared joyful mornings where you will wake up with profound purpose instead of crippling anxiety. I have prepared relationships that will deeply fulfill you instead of completely draining you. Walk forward today with a fierce, unstoppable anticipation in your heart. Shake off the heavy, dark shroud of depression that tells you tomorrow will just be another terrible day. Tomorrow is entirely in my hands, and I have filled it with absolute mercy. Step into your day expecting my goodness to violently interrupt your routine. I am opening the heavy doors of abundance for you. Keep walking, keep believing, and get ready to step into the massive promise I have secured for your life. Turn off the loud, terrifying news for just a moment and listen exclusively to my voice. I see the deep, gripping panic that takes over your mind when you look at the state of the world right now. You see the massive economy shaking, the bitter political divisions tearing families apart, and the strange, dark sicknesses spreading across the globe. You look at your children, and you feel a suffocating fear about the world they are growing up in. You wonder how you can possibly survive as the culture around you grows increasingly hostile and completely chaotic. Hear my loud, commanding declaration over your life. As the world around you grows incredibly darker, your specific divine purpose will shine incredibly brighter. I did not place you in this exact historical moment by accident. I have completely fortified your spirit for such a dangerous time as this. Do not be shaken by the violent shaking of the earth. When the people around you are running around in total panic, hoarding their resources and screaming in fear, I want you to stand perfectly still. Your foundation is not built on a fragile stock market, a flawed government, or a temporary job. Your ultimate foundation is built entirely on the massive, unshakable rock of my eternal word. When the terrifying storms of society crash against your house will absolutely not fall. I have given you the total victory before this global fight even began. You are completely immune to the spiritual destruction, that is sweeping across the earth. I have placed a thick, impenetrable hedge of divine protection around your mind, around your health, and around your household. Stay completely awake and highly alert. Do not let the heavy, numbing distractions of entertainment put your spirit to sleep. Your powerful redemption is drawing incredibly near. I am calling you to be a solid pillar of total peace in a room full of terrifying chaos. When your coworkers are panicking about the company's future, you will speak steady, calming truth. When your family is terrified of the unknown future, you will boldly lead them into prayer. You were specifically built for this exact, intense battle. Do not retreat. Do not hide in the shadows hoping the danger simply passes by. Stand up tall, put on the full armor I have provided, and hold your ground fiercely. I am the ultimate King of Kings, and I am in total control of the spinning globe. Walk into the darkness today carrying my blazing light. You are completely safe, highly equipped, and fiercely protected by the absolute greatest power in the entire universe. Hear my final, eternal word to your heart today. Let this truth sink so deep into your bones that you never, ever question it again. I have called you by your specific name. I have completely chosen you out of billions of people. I will fiercely and endlessly sustain you until your very last breath. You are absolutely never alone in this dark world, for my intense, loving presence is your constant, waking companion. When you drive to work, I am sitting right there in the car. When you cry into your hands in the bathroom at your job, I am holding your shaking shoulders. I have never left you, and I will absolutely never abandon you. This beautiful outline of your life was not written with a cheap pen. Your glorious destiny was written entirely in my own blood on the cross. I paid the absolute highest price possible because I saw the massive, priceless value in your soul. Go forth today with the bold, unshakable confidence that you are sitting exactly where I want you. Stop second-guessing your every move. Stop tearing yourself apart over past mistakes. I have woven every single piece of your messy, complicated, beautiful life into a flawless master plan. Absolutely everything, the bitter pain, the surprising joy, the frustrating delays, and the sudden breakthroughs, is working together for your absolute good because you love me. Trust me entirely, my precious child. Stop fighting the unseen hands that are carefully molding your life. Look at the scars on my hands, and know that a God who would die for you will never carefully manage your life into a disaster. Everything you have been through was all by my deliberate design, and it is all for my ultimate glory. Rise up from where you are sitting today. Wipe the exhausted tears from your face. Step out into the bright sunlight of my unconditional love. You have a massive purpose to fulfill, a deep joy to experience, and a breathtaking legacy to leave behind. Walk in total power. Walk in absolute peace. You are fiercely loved, forever chosen, and brilliantly designed. Now go live the incredible life I have perfectly planned for you. You are now fully equipped to live out the incredible life I planned for you. And your very first step of ultimate purpose is to ensure this divine truth reaches the next chosen soul. I am directly commissioning you to partner with me financially right now, throwing heavy logs onto the blazing fire of this ministry so we can rapidly spread this gospel. Every single dollar you give acts as a blazing lighthouse, guiding lost, broken people out of the freezing cold of despair and into the warmth of my family. As I have permanently decreed, God loves a cheerful giver, and I actively, aggressively pour all grace toward the one who gives generously. The hour is intensely late, and the desperate souls waiting to hear this specific video simply do not have the time for you to delay. I will fiercely rebuke the devourer for your sake, throw open the massive windows of heaven, and pour out a financial blessing so huge you will not have room enough to store it. Seal your divine purpose today by giving a super thanks, joining the channel membership, or using the PayPal link in the description right now. Do not let this conversation simply fade into the noise of your day. Boldly claim this eternal truth over your life right now. Step out of the shadows of your doubt and publicly declare your new identity in the comments below. My life is not random. I am handpicked for a divine purpose. When you type those exact words, you are actively shattering the heavy chains of insecurity and violently breaking agreement with every toxic lie that ever called you an accident. I will see your bold declaration, and I will meet your fierce faith with supernatural acceleration. Rise up, my beloved child, and take your rightful place in my kingdom. Your incredible destiny begins the exact moment you claim it. Amen.